Alright, hello everybody, I am RuneRavenFP. My run today is Windmaker All Dungeons No Manual Super Swim. Now, it is still a pretty similar category, but the main thing is we don't do one of the biggest Windmaker tricks in general called Manual Super Swim, where you pretty much just like go back and forth like crazy on outset and skip like the whole first like hour, 30 minutes of the game. Has some cool unique tricks, a different round for a while. The nice thing about it, it's pretty easy skill floor, but once you like start implementing world record strats, it becomes decently brutal. And I am here joined today by world record holder for every single category in this game, Mr. Alberto23. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hi. Let's do this.
I agree. And I'm also here with my good friend Phantom, 5800, who runs a lot of Paper Mario, a lot of Minish Cap. He's a cool dude. And he was here last year for Paper Rando, if you want to introduce yourself as well.
Yep, I know nothing about this game.
You know stuff. You've watched like a good few hundred hours of me playing this game. But yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I'll be rooming with him soon, so we're just good homies. And yeah, do we have any name and setup from the bid war?
Well, we had a last-minute snipe from the Japanese restream.
Let's go Japanese restream.
We got $12 from Mokomichi USA, wanting to name the file Babom.
All right, how do I spell that?
All lowercase B-O-M-B-O-M-B.
Bum bum. All right, and time is going to be as soon as I hit the start button here, or however you want to pronounce it in Italian. And be good to go. Time will be in 3, 2, 1, go. And already immediate.
Good luck.
Thank you. Already immediate best change in HD there. I mashed start. We did not get any of the 5-minute cutscene at the start of the game. We just get a minute and a half of Errol talking to us. But yeah, start of the run here. It's gonna be pretty chill, pretty normal. There will be one instance of a major glitch about 13 or so minutes to the run, 12, 13. But that'll be pretty cool when you see it. And it's the reason why I have 2 controllers here. It's not usually normal to have 2 separate controllers in the course of a run, but yeah, here Arrow's looking for Link. Link just passed out on his wood perch up there. I don't know why he's up there. I don't know how you fall asleep up there. He doesn't even have a telescope yet, so what is he doing up there? He's just kind of sitting there.
He didn't want to save the world today.
Yeah, he didn't feel like it yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, he's just hanging out here. He was up all night on here in his pajamas for some reason. Either that or his grandma just hates him and doesn't let him in the house. Which that's my headcanon. I feel like that's the answer.
I find it funny that a lot of the Zelda games start with Link waking up, and this is one of them.
It's his trait. He just can't stay awake. He'd be unstoppable if it wasn't for the tired sleepy. But yeah, you'll notice immediately the language is not in English or Japanese, which is usually like what you'd expect for a speedrun. What they did in HD, Windmaker SD, Japanese is actually the fastest language because the characters just obviously shorter like they usually are. But in HD, they sped up every character except like the Japanese symbols, the kanji and all that. So it turns out Italian is just the fastest of like the standard what English language uses for characters. Spanish is second fastest, which a lot of people use because you need a European console or a hacked console to access Italian. I personally have a hacked one here. But yeah, Spanish doesn't lose too much time depending on what category you're doing. Any percent are loses time, but it still does get noticeable.
You notice Raven's going to be rolling everywhere. That's the fastest movement for now. That is the glitchless fastest movement. So a lot of the stuff in the beginning, there's really only one major glitch, which, as RuneRaven mentioned, is going to be coming up. But for now, it's really just glitchless, and the fastest form of movement is rolling, unless you're holding an object. In that case, it's the fastest to side up. It's actually only a slightly slower to side up than rolling.
Actually, we're just gonna immediately save and quit out of Grandma's house. And before this run started, I deleted a file. And that wasn't just because I already had one. Well, it partially is, but with how the game works on those things, if you delete a file then make a new one, your first save won't have the added like extra 2-3 seconds of like making the first save of your file. So as long as you remember to do that, which is usually just after you reset anyway, so it's not too bad. You'll save a couple seconds here, and here hopefully Errol has a chance to wait, and she waved.
Oh, come on.
This
Say hi to the
cutscene,
birds.
this cutscene can't start until she's like perfectly still, and if it happens when you climb up there, that was a pretty big wave too. We got like the full thing. It's like
pesky birds.
It's like a couple seconds. She dislikes her friends more than me, which is understandable given I'm not allowed in the house. But here we're gonna get the telescope, which is the greatest item in the game. Its two uses are this cutscene, and if you're doing a randomizer on SD, you can see what's on top of Earth Temple.
Yep, so we're just gonna use the telescope once and then just chuck into the ocean.
And there we just use the lovely motion controls for aiming to immediately flick the camera up at the bird. And a fun little fact about this cutscene, you'll see here the pirates are throwing rocks at the bird, trying to knock it down to save Tetra up there. And if you hack the camera and look at a side view, the rock is like a good 10 feet away from the bird. Does not touch the bird, but he goes down anyway. This game likes camera tricks like that a lot for their cutscenes.
There's a few cutscenes in this game that are like that, where they just change the camera angle to make it look like things are close together, when in fact they're really far away.
Yeah, even the last one where the King of Red Lions is touching the Triforce. Oops. Did not take that camera to side up there. Luckily she has very fast text there, so it's barely a time loss.
Yeah. There's actually two different kinds of text boxes in this game. That one is one of the examples of what we'd like to call fast text. So there's actually, if you don't really know which one's which, you can kind of just mash both A and B. Both A or B will advance the text boxes, but that one with Errol at the very end is one where we actually like to hold B and mash A. It's faster because the text will all appear on one screen when you hold B. And this is another example right here with Orca.
Yeah,
so
Orca's
all of
fast
Orca's texts are like that, where you just hold B and mash A. It's the fastest way to advance the text.
Yeah, either mash it or time it. Because B will always hold, so you don't need to like repeatedly press. We're gonna do specific attacks you can do. It's just the fastest one, so there's not much to that. Go through all this. And there is one trick at the end of Orca. It's a pretty tight frame window. Oops. Moved the controls like a bit too early there. It's not quite frame perfect, but it's pretty close. Let's see if I can get it here. Okay, got an early one. It still works. But for some reason, if you parry him on the first couple frames of being active, or jump slash in there like I did, it lets you do it the second time like immediately. So it saves like a good few seconds. I'm gonna try my other controller here.
Another little time save you saw there that's actually going to be used quite a few times in the run is it's faster to get a jump attack after side hopping because you have lower height from a side hop. So you can side hop and then press B to side hop, to jump slash mid side hop, and then you're closer to the ground. And we're going to use that for a very powerful attack that's used several times throughout the run called the jump slash quick spin, which Orca conveniently doesn't teach you how to use. But the jump slash quick spin, basically the way you do it is you jump slash and then you spin the stick while midair, and that'll make Link automatically perform a very powerful spin attack when he lands, which actually deals 4 times the amount of damage of a regular hit. And jump attacks deal twice damage, so you can actually combo both sometimes, and that deals 6 times the regular damage of a regular sword hit. So that is going to be used in next coming area, the Forest of Fairies, to make quick usage of the enemies.
Yeah, it's also another thing to add in HD. SD, it's normal if you jump spin, it still just has a regular spin. But in this game, they made it so you just nuke everything you jump at. It's great.
They also changed how how you can combo attacks. So they make it so that there's a longer cooldown for you to double hit enemies. So it makes it harder to combo both the jump attack and the spin. But in this game, they actually made it so that the cooldown is so quick that you can double hit enemies even with regular attacks. And that's going to be used later as well.
And then we just
Nice red rupee.
Yeah, we grabbed that rupee. Oh, that's really good art. I could have grabbed 2 more there.
Wow. Yeah, we want to save up for the sale. Costs 80 rupees.
Yeah, sometimes my average in runs is usually like getting 23 by the 4th is really bad. I actually had on there some instance of them there, so they keep getting all those guys. Okay, we got a good 30. We saved a good amount of time there.
Nice. 30 is a lot of rupees.
One of them actually dropped an orb at the end there, but we didn't have time to grab it. It's like another good.
So many rupees. We're just drowning in rupees.
But yeah, on Windfall, when we get another 10 or so rupees depending on how much we get here. And now we get to skip one of the drops, so that's a good like couple seconds of time save. It was pretty nice. And if you notice there, when I save warp, I changed my controller. You can see in the player cam too. I'm managing a different one. That is for a trick we're gonna do after we grab the shield here. For now, we're just gonna watch a couple cutscenes. There is actually a way to skip these with the same trick we used a couple minutes here. But when we tested it, it was like, if you did it perfectly, it was like maximum time save of like 5 seconds, give or take. So it's like, what you have to do is just not worth it.
Yeah, actually, we recently retimed it, and it doesn't save any time.
Oh,
People start doing it in runs, and it just doesn't save time to skip this
trying it a few
cutscene.
times, and it's like, why am I losing time here? That was pretty clean.
Yeah, it's
It was like a month of
unfortunately
that.
it doesn't save time.
I remember when we first tested it, it was like, oh, if we do it perfectly, it's like 7 by our estimate, if you like perfectly do everything.
Yeah. Oh no, Arrow! Watch out!
She waved at me. She deserved this, honestly. Goodbye, Arrow.
No!
Alright, now maybe I feel kind of bad. Maybe we'll go save her.
Go save her! Do it!
Unfortunately, Link kind of sucks, so we can't jump that far, so he's gonna fall and die. Unless, if we didn't have Tetra, at least he would have.
Well, good thing if you fell into the water, you wouldn't have dealt any damage, because that's how that works in this game.
True. From that high, I think you can roll too and not take damage if you actually get the land.
Oh.
Yeah,
So that looked so dramatic, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, unlike manual Super Swim categories, we actually get Link's motivation on this run, even if we can't read it, because I can't read Italian. Italian is just fancy Spanish, but I can't speak Spanish either, so...
Pausa.
True, that is what we see every time we pause the game. Again, they're just telling us, let's go to Forsaken Fortress. That's where she is. We'll get her. So we gotta go to Grandma again. We gotta steal her last possession. So I'm gonna roll back over here. See if I can get this jump slash here. Yeah, if you hit the tree enough there, it'll push you over the fence, so you don't have to land on the fence.
Yeah, jump attacks are going to be seen throughout the run. It's faster than climbing ledges, so the jump attack is pretty useful whenever there's a ledge that you can clear and get up over it with a jump attack. But if it's too high, you have to climb. That's what we saw. Actually, that stump in Forest of Fairies way back. There's a task strat where you can actually jump attack onto it, but it's so unbelievably precise that we don't do it. We just climb.
We rob Grandma, we grab our shield that we only use for like... We use it for movement, but we don't actually ever block anything with it, pretty much. So it's pretty cool, I guess.
It's useful for barrier skip.
True.
True.
Yeah, we have a new barrier skip method that we found not too long ago. That is significantly easier and very fast.
It uses the shield.
Alright, here... we're gonna do the first glitch of the run, which I will need a moment of silence for, assuming I get this first try. Nice. I missed the movement a little bit here. Which one am I at?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I missed the side hop, I think. I'm gonna check my settings.
Just talk to the wrong pirate, but there we go. Yeah, so this trick allows us to skip the cutscene. So basically what Raven did was open the option menu on the same frame as triggering the loading zone. And that loading zone, normally when you open the option menu, they they made it so that the game pauses when it opens. But if you open it on the same frame as triggering a loading zone, you can play with it still open. And that's really important because if you select the option to switch controllers, then that will pause the game, and then you can save and quit even during a cutscene. So the game was blind. That was actually blind movement by RuneRaven. That's actually it's kind of difficult because Raven can only see what you can see. So that required blind movement to go talk to Tetra and start the cutscene. And so that requires a certain setup to get there. And then after talking to Tetra and initiating the cutscene, Raven switched controllers and then used the gamepad to save and quit. And now let's skip watching the entire cutscene, which is like a minute and a half.
I also want to point out there, because I had to readjust it, I pretty much knew where I was. The movement there is the simplest one, pretty much. I messed up my menu, and I was correct on how many times I heard it, so I still got the gamepad switch I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Yeah, here Nico's telling us how it took him like 87 years or whatever to cross this rope, so we're just gonna fly across. The tricky thing at that rope there, you kind of see Link jitter to the side. On that one too, that's unfortunate. That's not happened to me in a while. Usually he goes to the right on those, so I don't know why he went to the left there, but yeah, that's unfortunate.
But what's interesting... Oh, sorry.
Carry on, I was just saying.
What's interesting is that the second time you do the ropes, it's easier.
Yep. And
So you're supposed to fall down and fail, and then do it again, and then it's easier the second time.
I just didn't turn my camera, that's on me. We hit the frame perfect trick, and then we failed at this, so that's how it goes.
Actually, each rope, the second time you swing on it, it's more consistent. And I don't know why they did that. But...
Yeah, see, their Link teleport to the right. That's what I usually expect on that last rope. So the second one was on me. The first one I just didn't. I think it's depending on how you jump on it, but unfortunate, a minute to lose. But that's.
Well, you were supposed to lose a year to that, so.
Yeah, that is true. And here we get the spoils bag, which we only need for just to progress with the story. It's actually a bad thing to have because it lets us pick up enemy drops, which can lose time later. Enemy drops actually do not spawn if you never get the spoils bag. So if you watch a Menu Super Sim category, you never, besides 100%, because they still get it at some point, they'll just never be enemy drops. It'll just be the magic and bombs or whatever else they drop.
You win a special award if you never pick up Knight's Crest throughout the whole run.
I didn't turn my camera there. Come on! Barely missing my taps on the control stick here. Here we're just
this area, as soon as you spawn, there's a light cycle. And if Raven goes fast enough, can make that light cycle.
It's pretty easy to make on Italian at least. Even if I miss movement by a second there, I still got leeway.
Yeah, and you have to watch the cutscene. You have to. There's a way when you go in, when you enter the area. There's actually a skip for that first text box where Link goes wah, and then he talks to Tetra. But by doing this really precise jump, but actually that even though yes we can technically skip it, we actually can't. Because the trigger for the pirate ship to switch to the second pirate ship, later we're going to come back to the pirate ship and get bombs. That is that trigger of when Link pulls out the Gossip Stone and talks to Tetra. So we actually have to trigger that, and that actually makes the light cycle. There's a really, really crazy hard light cycle you can make in other. So in the any percent category, we don't get that. We don't actually watch that because we don't need bombs. And, we have a different way of getting bombs that doesn't involve the pirate ship. So then you can do this really, really difficult movement to get an early light cycle and get the red rupees. Because you do need the red rupees to buy the sale. There's 2 red rupees, and that's 40. So, but instead, we're just going to trigger the cutscene, the text after this cutscene.
Yeah, this cutscene's kind of long. It's a pretty great cutscene casually, but in the run, it kind of just takes too long. Yeah, here we get Link's first concussion in the run. Because brain injuries make you go faster after all, so... It's a common known fact. There he goes.
What?
And we lose our sword here, which it would make this place a little bit easier if we still had it, but it mostly does not really matter that much. It's kind of just, we gotta get up there. And in many Super Sim categories, because they don't do outset, they never grab the sword from Orca, but if you come here anyway, which they do immediately after doing something else. The sword's still up there, so that's just how they get the sword for the run. It's just always here if it's on Forsaken Fortress 1. And there's the coveted WA cutscene here.
Wham! And now the pirate ship it's changed to the second pirate ship, which has bombs in it the next time we go there.
Which won't be for like another hour or so, but... Yeah, here, light cycle's pretty easy to make still, even if I set up the wrong way. Here, hopefully I don't fail it. We're gonna jump into a window here from an angle. Should be good. Yep.
Nice. That skip's going through 2 doors.
Yep. And it's way easier the second time, so we get to use a stick to just back off and jump slash into it.
Do have to take out 1 searchlight because there's 1 gap where you settle across that you cannot get across without taking out this light. All the others you can skip.
Yeah, hopefully this becomes kind to me. We jumped right off. Never mind. He said never. He said nope. He didn't want it.
He's not interested in you today.
How do you move that far away? I don't know how he got off me. There he'll fall down. There's a death plane as soon as they leave like their platform there, so he just takes 1 swing. Yeah, that window jump the second time is pretty easy. Just drop back down. The A button. I messed up my camera angle there. I don't know, I'm missing all these like easy movements, but I'm hitting all the tricks. That's just how it goes sometimes, I guess. But yeah, it's a bit of a bad time loss, but it's not as bad as like the platform was. Yeah, I almost did for a second there.
Oh, didn't even look like you're gonna go on.
That's how it usually goes, because the ropes have a pretty wide like range you can grab them, so you kind of snaps on them most of the time. But... and here, you can actually just sidle into this door and Link will just clip into the loading zone.
A glitch.
If it's faster like frames, I forget. It just looks cool, so I like to do it. Because it does skip the animation of him opening the door. And here, HD made it so, like in Fortress 1, when you're sneaking around here, it's much more lenient when you get seen to get away from them. Instead of like a second you have an SD, you have like 3 in this game, so we don't have to like use the barrels whatsoever. Roll all the way up here. We get lucky here. It barely loses time. You need to hug the wall a little bit more to get him off you. But there's a chance, depending on how the moblin moves, that he can see you there. Just makes you hug the wall a bit more. And if you notice, I am repeatedly tapping while sliding on the gear. It's just a little bit faster. Makes Link move a bit more forward. Sometimes you can micro tap and like make Link like jitter really fast across, but that's like really annoying to do, so I don't usually go for it. Just tapping it like this, consistent rhythm is still faster than just holding the direction, so. All the way across now. Finally reunite with our beloved sword here. It's guarded by this guy here. He's got some spikes. He's got a cool setup here. But he's kind of a wimp. So he's gonna roll twice. We're gonna side up with the item. That skips Link's animation. Oh, I didn't get a double hit there. That's my attack there, but he still dies in like 4 hits there because the jump spin, as mentioned before, does a lot of damage. And cool, we hit the frame there. He wasn't really perfectly facing the door, but you have 1 frame to act there, and if you back over side of it, it takes like a little bit of time moving there. In this cutscene, it's like 3 minutes, so if you have any donations or anything to say, just go for it. I'm gonna get a drink of water here.
All right, we do have 1 donation at the moment. $10 from Anonymous. Oi! Love to see some Wind Waker. Such a great game that gave me so much joy growing up, and Link is just so cute. $10 went toward one of our open incentives for tomorrow, toward playing Dress Up for Sam and Max Hit the Road, where Hobtor will play Dress Up during the run if we hit that incentive. We have a couple others open at the moment. There's a category upgrade to True Ending for the Lunistis run from Jaxler tomorrow to do True Ending instead of any %. We have a bid war for the character that will be used in the Burger King Pocket Bite Racer run. And we also have a bonus game on the docket tomorrow that was just opened up, is Richard Scarry's Busy Town.
That's definitely a game. I'm down for that.
And if I recall correctly, the category for that game is called the Most Amazing Category.
I believe it.
So we do need that is $400 we're trying to get that game into the marathon. So please, I mean, we have to find out what's so amazing about it, right?
We gotta know. Can't be left hanging. Yeah, here Link, he gets caught. It's almost drowned here, but the boat just decides to show up. Just shows up with no sail. He just kind of scooted over there for a while. So Link is probably floating there for like a good chunk of time.
I believe that part of the boat, like picking up Link and saving him, I don't think that's there on the Japanese version. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of the GameCube version of the game. And then they later added it into the PAL version, and then it's still in the Wii U version. But for some reason, the original Japanese version doesn't have that part of the cutscene.
You know, I've been watching Japanese any% runs or NoMSS runs for SD, and I don't remember, honestly. I'd always, like, go grab a snack during that part of the run.
Another fun fact, you can't even skip that cutscene. So if we wanted to somehow not beat Forsaken Fortress, we have to beat it. It's completely mandatory because it spawns the boat.
Yep.
So that's just something that's mandatory. There's actually a couple places where no matter what, we could not skip that. Even if we had wrong warping, we could not skip beating Forsaken Fortress.
Yeah, even or regular any%, or many of the categories have a way to skip the cutscene here, but they can only skip this part. So they carry pause storage in there, and they have to wait the whole time until this part, then they can save warp.
Yep. Actually, if we could do all of Forsaken Fortress blind, we could. Not all of it, but a lot of it. We could skip the cutscene. You have to do a lot of blind movement, get past 3 moblins.
Just do window jump blind. It's pretty simple. But yeah, a task for this game would probably be... It'd be cool, but not visually interesting, because you would just see the item menu for a lot of it.
Yeah, and that pause storage glitch doesn't work on doors, so you have to enter a loading zone physically for it to work. So.
Unfortunately, Anton walked a bit too close there. I thought he was far enough. Luckily, he has quick deck, so it's not too bad.
Gotta go see our friend Tingle.
You usually have to grab the flowers there, depending on your outset RNG, but since we had 70 there, we don't have to. We can grab the ones that are consistent. Because there's a few pots here that are always blue rupees. There's some pots that are like RNG, you can get like green to red in there. And the flowers are like, they can give you either like nothing or they can give you like 12, so. And here you just have to get Tingle to get the sale, which kind of sucks. It's a bit slow. There is 2 tiny tricks here. The first one was a side up I did. I had to hold a weird angle for that because the camera's not right. Otherwise, you can stop the camera from moving with the right stick. That always stops when you target. And side up that way. I always go for the angle. And at the end here, it's going to give us a little prompt about Meavers, which, rest in peace. I love the Meavers bottles. They were fun. And we can roll during that. If we get the angle right, we won't bog on the door, and it saves, like, a tiny bit of time. And we got it. Cool.
Nice. Trying to get a low speed roll there. If you do it in the first 2 frames of walking, you can get a lower speed roll. Otherwise, you bonk.
Otherwise, you can do an angle there. I usually go for the angle, because I'm bad at timing it, but... And like when here, Tsunari here has quick deck, so it doesn't take long to buy the sale. Just roll right past Garrix and grab the pot he's next to, and we're on 3. And now we get the last boring segment of the run, pretty much, because we have to sail, which is very exciting. Yeah, he's telling us how to use the sail, how the wind works, but it doesn't really matter to us. We never change the wind. It's just, it's gonna stay east the whole time.
This is like the main part of the game.
That's great. We actually do sail one more time after this, assuming I don't mess up stuff. If I mess up some things, I'll have to sail again. But and yeah, here in Link or SD, opening and closing the sail give you much more of a speed boost, but they kind of nerfed it in this game, so it still saves time. But it's like this swim's like, or the sailing segment's like a good like 3-5 seconds instead of however much it was in SD.
Yeah, I think I timed it recently. The Wind Waker GameCube actually does this sailing section to Dragon Roost quite a bit faster. I can't remember if it was 20 or 30 seconds faster or something like that. Their sail pumping is way more powerful than ours.
Yeah, with the Swift sail, it's still pretty good. You just To open and close the switch sail compared to the regular one, you just mash A. So Hundo runners and glitchless runners will be sitting there just going crazy on their gamepad or pro controller, whatever they used. Yeah, sail past the tower here. I don't even remember what's in there. I think it's just money probably. Also picked up Ruby there at some point, so shout out to the emotional support Ruby will carry throughout the rest of this run.
It's a bribe.
It's a bribe for RNG later on. We're going to give it to the game.
Yes. Yes.
And the run does end with a good 38% chance trick. Which I'll probably try once, and if I don't get it, I'll just do how you're meant to do it. It doesn't take too much time after the first try. But, and I also like the fight it skips, so I don't mind doing it if I have to. Yeah, here we're
Man,
back.
this music never gets old.
This game has such good OST. Alright. Yeah,
This music also never gets old either.
This is probably one of like top 3 favorite songs in the game. I'm always tapping along to this in stream. But here the boat's gonna give us the Maker. I don't know where he's been hiding it. It just appears in his mouth at some point, so you probably swallowed it. It's a tasty treat. And here we're gonna do my favorite trick in the it's not really a glitch, it's just a little trick. Up and down has no sway in what you do with the Maker. So you can kind of just do this for 3 beat songs.
It's volume control, up and down.
If you notice there, like, it cuts in and out when I'm doing it. Sadly, we don't have any 3-note songs to play in the rest of the runs. That's all we get. But it's pretty great when we have it. And yeah, whoever said that earlier wasn't kidding. Runs definitely go faster than Marathon because that was bad. And it felt like a good twice as fast as as playing at home.
Very nice rock hop.
That rock is named Jerry that we jumped past there. So
Hi, Jerry.
Everyone calls that trick different thing. Rock hop, rock skip. I call it Jerry jump because that's more fun. Keeps it more personal. Yeah, it's kind of a weird angle to get past that. It's not too bad. Most of the time you'll see people grab the ledge. I've gotten pretty consistent at just jumping across clean, but with the sword, you can also jump slash if you want to not grab the ledge if your angle is like fairly off.
That trick is surprisingly easy for how much it skips. If you couldn't do that trick, you'd have to go all around, bomb all of the boulders and go all the way up top. It's really annoying.
Yeah, and
so you can actually skip this cutscene, but we need the delivery bag, so we can't skip it.
Yeah, we need to get the bottle here. There is a theoretical faster 80% route that you do manual supersim twice to grab a bottle from a submarine and then come here, so you don't have to get delivery bag to get a bottle from Medley. You just go right past her. But that requires you doing a very hard trick twice, so it's not quite TAS only, but it pretty much is. There's enough hard stuff at 80% to worry about that, so.
Well, this is all dungeons, so it's different.
Yeah, all dungeons. I don't think we'd ever go for that.
Probably not.
Depending how crazy like top level gets, or gets pushed down to, I don't think you ever would. And honestly, no minus person categories, you can't. The trick is just banned outright.
Yeah, so recently, the manual super sim, which usually involved pause buffering about 200 times to turn around and enough in the water to gain a lot of speed and super swim across the ocean, and actually you can get to Dragon Roost in less than 5 minutes. That was recently done without pausing, and it's really, really hard, but would save a good bit of time because that whole pause buffering sequence takes about a minute. Now, does it mean you can do unbuffered and get all your speed in 1 minute, but it's significantly faster and very, very, very hard. And only one person's ever done it, so yeah, luckily, this category doesn't have to do it, because it's banned.
Yep. And any percent, or not any percent, SD you actually can more reliably. And a lot of top runners do it for many super categories. It's something with like the control stick dead zones are like easier to misplace so you don't hit neutral. That kills most of your speed when you're charging. It also saves more time there because pausing is slower. Because that's every time I pause, it's just like a quick flash that I can undo immediately. SD pulls up a menu, so it takes like a good like 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds longer.
One thing you notice here, Raven didn't even pause to equip. That's because on the HD version, they made it so that you can swipe with the gamepad screen to equip items. And it's actually kind of difficult to do movement while equipping at the same time you're using your hands for a lot of things at once, but you kind of get used to it with time. But there are some pretty hard equips in the run.
If you noticed, I stuttered at the start while going up the staircase because I didn't change the menu from the Miiverse one, so I didn't have the mailbag up yet.
The Miiverse!
The Miiverse was great. I learned how to clip out of bounds with like random like impractical stuff, and I just took selfies there with the Pinto box and just posted on the Miiverse and was very happy with myself when nobody knew how I got inside of a rock.
That's awesome. This area is on a cycle. The wind, you have to throw medley when the wind goes towards the ledge. On Spanish, this is actually quite a bit harder to make, but on Italian, we can make the cycle by so much, but with even bad movement, then we have to wait for the wind anyway, because the Italian text goes so much faster than Spanish in this area.
Yeah, see, I got snapped back there and like had to turn around, and I'm still up here before it changes. In English, you just can't make the cycle. You have to wait like a good like 20 seconds.
I've actually made it on English. It's not easy.
I was gonna say, I don't imagine it would be.
It's not.
I remember trying while learning the game because I didn't want to change my console language yet because I was doing something. I was like learning another game on the side too. I was like, how do I do this?
I was playing on a friend's Wii U and they wouldn't let me switch the language. I should have just switched it and then switched it back.
Then we had a good equip there. You can do it while rolling, and you have like just enough time for the battle to appear in your inventory and be usable to do it right out of the roll. Just water this bomb. This is the whole reason we had to go through all that inside. It's just to get this bomb here.
This boulder can only be exploded by this one bomb. Oh, that barely worked.
I saw it go off. I'm like, wait a minute.
And as you saw, Link kind of just walks right back into position. So even if you perform those side hops and kind of try to move, Link just goes right back to where he was.
Yeah, I just move because it's fun. It's not really like anything you can do. Can't you do like a weird like skid thing at like perfect timing to stop him from moving?
There is something like that, yeah. There's like some trick where you can prevent Link from moving, and it's really hard. And I don't know how it works.
I remember seeing it a while ago in the Discord. I'm like, I don't know how this works, and I'm gonna just keep my couple seconds. I turned way too much there. I usually turn the camera with it, so I don't know why I did it there. But there we go.
There's actually a precise jump slash you can do across the lava to skip bombing that statue, but it's kind of risky because you void out if you fail it. It's pretty precise, so yeah, not the safest for a marathon.
You save like 5 seconds, give or take, maybe a bit more.
I think it's
compared to
2.
losing 30. It's 2.
It's 2. Yeah, it's not much.
Nice. So yeah, you rarely ever see people do that. I've like no SS any %. Or just people being crackheads and just wanting to save every bit of time possible. Here I'm gonna grab this pot. I don't need this. Without main sim, you come in here first. And you have to use the pot. I just like it because it's pretty consistent with the goblin flies and it's not really slower.
Yeah, I too prefer using the pot.
And like you're setting up that anyway, so it's not really, you don't really lose much for not rolling there.
So one change over the GameCube version in HD that's kind of annoying is that they switched the button for swinging and throwing the sticks and swords. So in the GameCube version, swinging was B, which kind of makes more sense because that's the button you use to swing your sword. But they switched them so you actually can't side hop because A is the button to swing the sword. So if you move to the side, it actually switches to say side hop, and then you can't even side hop. It's really trolly.
Yep. This game's great. Yeah, they did that, and I got too close to the rock there, so I didn't get the roll. But, you can roll while it's exploding there and save a little bit of time. It doesn't lose much though. And here I'm gonna pan the camera right behind Link's head, and that for some reason interrupts the cutscene of the first time using those pots. So it saves a few seconds there. Let's move right away. I'm just gonna immediately spin this guy so he opens the way for us. Grab his weapon.
Faster to throw it there than to walk up to the barrier and swing. Same here.
Yeah, that allows you to climb up here and like slowly waddle over because you can't roll. Luckily none of the tubes saw me here. I don't know what decides if they do or not. But if they do, they'll interrupt your roll. You're going to do a cool little trick here. Go look to the left here. You're gonna spin at the box.
Very nice.
You see there, I shimmy a little bit just to adjust to whatever angle I got when I turned.
It's not very intuitive, but you can also throw the pots at the bombs on the wall. I don't know how anybody was gonna figure that out, but you can do that.
I think that's what it's intended casually, actually.
Doesn't feel intended to me. But it's significantly easier than what Raven just did there. That was I have a lot of trouble with that. It's a pretty cool jump attack. We making the cycle?
Yes.
Nice. There's this lava cycle. If you have a good enough movement at the start, you can beat that lava pillar from forming, which looks like Raven's beating it by quite a bit.
Yeah, pretty good DRC so far, honestly. And I did. I could have jump slash there, but I thought I made it. Usually you grab the ledge there too, so.
Yeah.
Luckily,
I guess
when you
that's...
void out, the lava cycle always works, so kind of just go up here.
There's this annoying mechanic called analog glitch that I don't know if that's really what happened there, but this is a place where it usually happens. When Link climbs a ladder, if you hold a direction and turn the camera, it won't actually change his movement direction.
Yeah, there, I'm pretty sure I made that one too, but I'm just gonna like just jump slash anyway. Here you don't have to scoot across very slowly. You can do a frame perfect trick to jump across and without sword, but if you have sword, you can kind of just get in a lot of weird snapback angles there. You can do jump slash as soon as they're out of the side up there. There we throw the bomb at the wall there, because if you throw a bomb flower at something, it explodes a good amount faster, so wherever applicable we do that for like the 2 times we have to use it.
Also, I don't know if you saw there, Raven just jumped off of the side of the blocks. That's faster than climbing normally on the last one.
Yeah,
and you can do it here too.
In SD, you just hit a button to climb, so you didn't have to walk into it, and it was like, you just kind of do that instead. But they changed A to how you hold blocks now, so instead of R, so that's just gonna get you stuck there, so you can't do it any faster. I think there's no rest here, so I can backflip here. Oh, staying corrected, but I still got his head out, so that's fine. I saw him jump at the end of time. There is some instances, I've had it twice, and I've seen the runner Josh have it once, where you throw the stick across that gap, and a rat will, like, get down Mr. President and jump in front of it and lose in, like, 10 seconds, so you get to climb up again. You're gonna have a very scary
I've had that happen. It's rare.
I remember laughing it off very hard the first time I did it, but it was also, like, gonna gold at the time, so I was also mad. And there I took the corner wide. That actually detaches the keys from you, so they don't have a chance to bother you when you're doing the side up there to hit the door. Otherwise, sometimes they can, but it's not usual.
I did not know that. Learning new things.
I figured that out a while ago. There you can do a jump slash spin. It's like slightly faster, but the spacing is really weird on it, so I usually just go for that to be safer. So I get the one that's a lot of the times I had to shoot them jumping at me. Fortunately, getting a side up there instead of a jump slash. If you frame perfectly hit target in A, it does not change what input you're getting with the camera angle. So if you're perfect, it doesn't matter if that happens. But here we're gonna perfectly try to time this pretty late. So it stays to the side, and we can jump it back to the inside and use that little bridge they put there. And if you saw on the ladder, when I was climbing the ladder, I turned my camera around, and that skips a camera pan that saved like half a second. Seeing the door you open, it just kind of flicks there instead. And there we go, we hit the roll at that.
Yeah. When you pick up a bomb flower, you want to throw it as fast as possible. The way bomb flowers work is that they have an inherent fuse of 5 seconds, so if you pick it up and hold it for 5 seconds, it'll explode. Or if you throw it off of the side of a cliff and it doesn't hit anything, it'll explode in 5 seconds. But if it hits something, it explodes a lot faster. So that's why you want to throw it as fast as possible.
And if you notice, most staircases here at like the starts of them are like sometimes the whole time. I'm going at an angle. That prevents me from walking on one side of like step. Okay. One of them scooted the side, so I was pretty unlucky. If you can get that fast, it's dependent on how they move. Luckily, he put himself back in there, so it's still pretty much perfect. There's problems that are if you just time it right. You just do that and he dies instantly. And got the frame again. Similar thing to FF1 there. You have a frame in the side up there. And there, as long as you hit the mob, the camera's always consistent, so it's always a good couple seconds. And here
Coming up, I think, is one of my favorite sections in this run.
Yeah, here's the first major instance of the route changing compared to regular dungeons. Because in most of them, your save flags are always broken. Or broken for a while until you fix them at a certain point. So you always reappear at outset if that's where your certain current story flags are. And that ties into this item. This item is absurdly broken, or all first-person items are. In HD, they added a way, or they added, you can move on first person with an item, or in, just in general, or first person in general. But with items, you see here, I move forward a little bit, I pause the game, and I do a Control-Z angle. And it lets me infinitely gain, I cancel that bit too early there, it lets me infinitely gain negative speed. So we can kind of just cross these gaps, and certainly quickly, instead of having to go all the way around, knock down a platform, whatever, go all the way to the top floor of this place. We just kind of go past it immediately, like straight to the boss key. But in regular all dungeons, you take this straight out when you save warp there, and just use this to carry the speed over into the water to swim wherever you want without the boat, at an absurd pace. With the broken save flag, it would save us way more time. To grab it, to go to a different dungeon first. You go to Forbidden Woods first, actually, in that route. Oh, I think that worked. There, you hit the grapple hook on them at a certain angle. It does damage to them for some reason, so you get some slash there. Oh yeah, I was saying, you go to Forbidden Woods first, and you get the leaf, and you come back here, and you can skip the boss key with the leaf. But because our save flags are broken here, it's just faster to go straight here to grab the boss key. So we actually do the intended dungeon order. But yeah, it's a bit easier than doing the boss key skip, but we also get a direct consequence of having to do the hardest super swim in the game, because we don't have broken save flags.
This is why we took the warp
Right there, like. I climbed up the same angle too. I don't know why he wasn't going up.
This is why we opened the warp pod, so we could get back here really quickly and don't have to go all the way up again.
And I mentioned here, just shield for movement. If you convert your speed to positive by holding the opposite direction at which you charge, it makes you move forward instead of backwards. Because normally if I just let go or whatever a target, Link's moving backwards when I charge speed. But if I go to positive and I use the shield, it just sends me straight forward wherever I'm going to unleash speed that way. And unlike the sword, I get to keep running, so I can just open that door immediately instead of getting stuck there for a second.
Yeah, so you can't see your speed value, you can't see it negative, positive, but actually Link has two different kinds of speeds in this game. He has negative and positive speed.
Nice.
And so that's very important. Oh, did you just get the flick? Nice.
I do it every time, and it works like half the time, so that's cool.
Yeah, so there's motion control aiming in this game, and so if you want swag points, you can just aim up and do the TAS aiming and just flick and aim and shoot without even just blindly shoot.
And protection, don't worry, the display dropping frames is just the game. They made this room very laggy in HD. It ran fine in SD, and all the effects of this game kind of lag it out, so we kind of... Unlucky there with the spark with the file that came out, but we kind of look away from it so it doesn't all load in, so it lags less. At least with my attacking there, they don't also with my feature again from the last one. I hope it don't happen again, otherwise it kind of ruins that whole thing.
One thing that I don't think we mentioned, but I should probably mention, a big change between this game and the GameCube version is storage was patched. So storage is a very, very significant trick in the GameCube version that you're actually never going to see a single time in the speedrun. But basically it requires the Wind Waker. I mean, there's ways to do it without the Wind Waker, but the best way to do it is with it, and you would Wind Waker dive and then cancel the dive when you hit the ground, and basically it would allow you to move around during cutscenes and keep the properties of chests and stuff like that, but you're actually not going to see it a single time in this game. But instead we have item sliding, which I think is cooler, honestly.
It's much easier to do too. It's really hard to like get the hang of movement, but it's like it's easy to get down. Also there, you'll see me do like a little Link kind of like jitter for a bit there. Usually you can't, when you side hop jump slash with the item in your hand, it takes a bit longer because Link has to pull the sword out. But if you cancel the sword pull animation with a side hop, you can do it instantly, so you kind of just like, piano the buttons really fast. And it saves a tiny amount of time. This is pretty much the only place you do it. I'll do it in Wind Temple too, depending on how the boss fight goes, because it kills the minions faster. But cool little minor optimization for this boss fight. Also, yeah, the third time the sparks hit me again, but luckily it was in the first wave left, so I didn't lose time for it, because I got up in time. I lost a little bit the lag of it, because my camera angle got changed. And it's pretty easy to get by with 3 hearts in this game, so we don't grab any heart containers. 2D Zellas, though. 2D Zellas is pretty hard to avoid damage, so most of the runs there grab at least a few.
I just find it funny that you can get by in this game with 3 hearts, and it's not even close to a problem.
Yeah, Ganon you kind of can die on sometime. Papa Ganon too. If you get the strats down, it's pretty hard to get hit. 80% though, you have 1 heart at the last fight, so it is pretty hard because you get tapped at all from Ganondorf doing something weird. You just die. Okay, and here, Bendy and Kamali are going to give us their first pearl. They're going to give Bomb his first item, his first dungeon item here. But yeah, these items are important in the boss fights. Going dungeon obviously is important too, but the actual requirement for this category is dungeon portals. So going to that portal is like all I have to do for each dungeon, and you'll see that exploited a little bit in Tower of the Gods later, to save a bit of time. But yeah, once voted on, though, it is perfectly legal to enter the portal for 1 frame and leave. But and here they're telling us, go get the wind song. You gotta use it to get the forest healer. We don't need to. We have a rope, so that's all we need to cross the ocean. So they're gonna go, and they're not good to see the wizardry we do. But this is one of the hardest, if not the hardest segments of the run, for no male super swim at least. Here we're gonna get the first instance of super swimming. Slide into the water here. I have low speed there, so I'm gonna redo that. But you guys was kind of bad there. Oops. Missed my target there.
So if you lower Link into the water after, oh nice, let's talk to the boat.
Yeah, he gets text there. Well, we have to read that later anyway, so it's certainly a time loss. But
oh yeah, true. So you have to slowly lower Link into the water. There needs to be a slope with a wall against it that you can charge. You can keep your speed in the water. It's very important that you don't accidentally lose your speed in the water. So there's a bunch of quadrants where when you enter them, the water unloads and Link falls. If he falls, he loses all of his speed. He doesn't keep his speed while he's airborne. So you have to be very careful not to hit those quadrants too quickly. But other than that, you can just fly across the ocean in a matter of seconds. It's very fast to super swim. While on the GameCube version, they use storage and they turn around a bunch of times while with camera lock, and that's way slower because they have to charge up all of their speed, about 90 speed per frame. But it's exponential speed game with item sliding, so in only about 2 seconds, you can get enough speed to cross the entire ocean in about less than a second. If you charge for even about 4 or 5 seconds, if you keep that speed and then try to use it, you'll crash.
it's very easy to crash with item sliding. And my favorite thing about the change, though, is that with camera lock, Link kind of flickers back and forth, and it's pretty... if you're photosensitive, it's pretty rough to watch, so it's much nicer in this game as a spectator category.
Oh yeah, the movement in general in this game is very flashy and very, very, very smooth if you're able to pull it off.
Here, I'm going to do the hardest swim in the game. Smoke is a little tiny core on the raft with the water going up. Unfortunately there I went too far left. Go for the water again. A bit too early there. A bit longer here.
Just a very awkward super swim.
I did not get ESS there. Water was not down, now it is. Keep dropping the angle. Just go down. This is pretty awkward I did after you missed the first couple. Why am I not getting my angle here? I think I'm just not moving back far enough. Okay, now I have it. It's time right. There we go. And I did not have any speed whatsoever. That's very unfortunate. This is the biggest reset point in my runs, usually. I usually play for an hour. If this goes well, I keep going. If not, there's also a danger of soft logging here if you ever drown. That's why I'm pretty quick to come back if my speed's low. This one. The water cycle is kind of weird. The first couple are like pretty easy for me personally to visually tell. But after these, they kind of get like weird to look at. So hopefully we get this soon. That was like frames off from the water being correct there. I keep missing pieces. This is one of the biggest worries that worry for the marathon run in general, and my FP has been a bit higher.
Oh, maybe? Okay.
I'm going to the backup island here. I think it's, yeah, this here. I probably could have made it with the speed, but I want to be a bit safer here. The water's a bit too high there.
Luckily, it's a lot easier to swim off of this island, so just a quick pit stop.
Be very careful here. I'm going to slow my speed down a lot just to like make sure I don't. This is one of the islands that you can see there. It froze for a second while loading the boat.
Can we swim?
I cannot. That soft locks the run. That's really bad. We've not saved since boss key skip, and if the game voids out here, it's soft locks and we can't continue. So that's pretty bad. So we're gonna have to go through the dungeon again, unfortunately.
Oh, I see.
We just have to do Goma again quick. Which I probably should have safety saved there, but I don't usually ever have an issue with that, so... That's unfortunate. Luckily, it's the last run of the night. I feel bad if I make people save it longer, but at least there's not really other things for people to wait on for their runs, but... luckily, it's still just one boss fight. It's mostly the cutscenes that take a bit. So it's probably like closer to 5 minutes, not 10, but... we'll just
So the reason Raven couldn't save and quit there was that basically when you save and quit in the water, Link goes where the boat is. So even if Link is at Windfall, then and you save and quit, that will still put you at Greatfish because that's where the boat was. And when you save and quit and go back to Greatfish, the boat will try to sail you away because you're not supposed to be there that early. And so you have to have the Forest Pearl to be able to even sail there. So the boat will try to take you back to somewhere where you can be, and will take you away. And the boat is actually on the opposite side of the island of where the boat's trying to take you, and will just run into a wall forever and soft locks you.
If you grab the song and change the wind to the south like it wants you to, it will actually take you in the correct direction if you enter the boat from the island. And it's like good measurements to work, but it is consistent. Luckily, we didn't get about sparks here, so this fight is already faster than last time. We just get it through.
We have a moment for a donation while we're in the middle of filming.
Say whatever you need to. I got a lot of time here.
So, Anonymous, as a $5 donation, this is a sentiment that's been expressed in the chat a few times. Happy birthday, Raven!
Oh yeah, it is my birthday actually. As soon as it, I don't know if it's midnight. I assume it's midnight.
Yeah.
I assume it's midnight, but yeah, 15th is my birthday, so
and Anonymous would like you to treat yourself to some Arby's. Well, I guess that's today at this point, but...
I know who that is then, and no, I will not.
So we are here raising money for the Protez Foundation this weekend. Protez Foundation's goal is to help people who have lost limbs to restore their quality of life. Their current project is prosthetics for Ukrainians, the goal of which is to help Ukrainian children, civilians, and soldiers to get free quality prosthetics in the USA. They cover all financial needs, including visa fees, lodging, and of course, the prosthetics themselves. They also assist with psychological support and emotional recovery for victims. And to learn more, please visit theprotezfoundation.com.
Very good cause for scoring. I'm scoring this weekend. Yeah, boss fight went pretty clean. It went way cleaner than last time, honestly, because I didn't get hit at all. But... So yeah, we're already pretty much back to where we were, minus like a 2-minute cutscene. So yeah, we'll still be pretty close to estimate as long as I keep going at a good pace. But yeah, that swim is like really... Like, genuinely really difficult. I put in so much time into that, and it's pretty rough if your hands shake at all. So, but at least I was getting the charge at the end. Yeah, it's mostly my timing though was the thing. It wasn't really the lineup, because you have a very tiny amount of land to work with there. With the amount of speed you have, so you have to keep a very straight angle and adjust it as you go. The timing is also pretty precise, so unfortunately. But yeah, in many of the categories, you just save warp off there because your save flags are always going to take you to outset still. So you gotta just avoid that trick altogether and slip from outset instead. Which actually has a way to like consistently set up speed too, with what you charge on, which is very nice. Yeah, I'm already straight back here. Get to see these two again, our favorite little bird people. Which we won't see Kamali again, so maybe it's good we get to see him again. We get to say hi again. Maybe we'll see later, but Kamali gets left in the dust for the rest of this. And yeah, I'm definitely going to safety save this time, just to be super sure. I'm going to save here too. There is a way to soft lock getting on the island too, depending on how the wave goes, with how fast you load the island. The wave can be higher than the land, for whatever reason, and then Link can't sit on the ground to do his animation for the cutscene. It's a very funny soft lock. He's like splashing absurdly fast, getting dropped in the water, trying to go on land constantly, and it lags the game down to like 2 frames. But he just keeps drifting off into the ocean, and it never progresses. So yeah, we're gonna be going super safe here. Pop a save here. Luckily, it's not too slow to save. It takes like a couple seconds. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try to things a little bit. Be done, I guess this is bad. Go to the back side of the island here. We're gonna steer us right back to the front. That should be good. Yeah, already much faster. So let's go left to Tingle Island here. There, you can see the land there. Right. If you slow it down, it's pretty riskless in terms of getting the wave. It's kind of like when you're further away. It'll go higher than the island because it's not loaded yet, but if you kill speed, it's usually pretty consistent.
I like how Link just fell.
Yeah, every time it loads an island like that for a cutscene, he just kind of falls into it. Yeah, hopefully this time we'll get it pretty quickly. Yeah, it always sucks though, because like, it looks like a normal swim if you get it fast, so it's like, oh cool, they just did the same thing, but no, this is a swim you just have to sit down and do on its own. You can't just do it if you know the other ones. And this guy, if I remember correctly, he's just telling us that the pirates are on Windfall and they're going to outset the bomb in the back of the island for Jaboon. Which is all cool and dandy. We're just gonna go there. We're gonna go after this. That's where we're going out. That's where we're currently trying to get to, actually. This should auto-time the wave for me, so... Unfortunately, I go too far left again, which is very unfortunate. I think I'm a bit too early on these. There we go.
Oh, that looks good.
Steer around this time. Okay, it loaded. Cool. Okay, first try.
There we go.
Just cut,
nice.
cut. When you post this on YouTube, just cut that part of the bot out. It'll be good. It'll be fine and dandy. And that's at the end of this segment here. We have a pretty hard clip coming up too. We have to hit A, and we have to hit A to roll on the first frame of standing up and go neutral on the frame after. So Link does not jump here. We got a first try here. Okay, we're gonna scoot alongside the side of the boat here. Camera's gonna mess up a little bit here. And we're gonna jump straight into the load zone here. Very good password skip.
Very nice.
Nice.
And that trick, once you get it, it's pretty simple when you get the time, when you get the feel of the neutral input. But it is pretty hard to learn the start. And then you'll see me, this is all quick text here. I didn't mash a good 6 of them. And that's because these ropes are on a cycle, and because Italian's so fast, you have to like delay the text a little bit to make the cycle. In Spanish, you can just mash that, which kind of screwed me up when I first changed from Spanish to Italian. But overall, Italian's just worth it. Side up on this switch here.
So very interesting thing you can do in this game that you can't on the GameCube version is you can turn while swinging, and it's very useful for this rope game.
It's so nice. Rope game is so slow. These ropes are actually harder than the first ones. I feel bad about missing the first ones by hitting these ones, but that's how it goes sometimes. You can't be perfect.
Well, it's supposed to be harder, but actually, in my experience, I think the first one is harder. Even though the second one's supposed to be harder, but then adding in that you can turn while swinging just makes it easier.
Yeah, the first one, like how Link gets snapping in there. With how Link jitters on the last couple of ropes, it kind of makes it really awkward sometimes. So like, I don't really blame people when they mess it up, mostly because I do it. But that's besides the point. Here we get bombs. Usually bombs you get after the second dungeon, but we don't really want to do that because they're very useful for breaking the dungeon pretty hard. Because the dungeon is filled with all these like little flower things that you have to break, but you can't do it while you're close. So it has to be like a stick or a random like acorn thing you throw. I don't know what those things are called, like little brown balls throughout the dungeon, or the boomerang. We don't really want the boomerang. It's kind of slow to get, so we're just gonna use the bombs to skip all that. But first, though, we have another use of pause storage coming up here. I'm gonna turn my controller so I don't forget. So I'm gonna super swim to Forest Haven here. Should be good speed. Okay, I paused there for a second. I had a lot of speed. I wanted to make sure I actually had to pivot that because I missed the island.
That was really fast.
I always overcharge that one because it's cool to get it instantly, but it is scary.
Blink your eyes and you missed that swim. That was so fast.
These swims, though, if you fail them, you kind of just go back to the island. So, and there I have a save warp. I save warp too, so it's not slow to put the game and go back.
Nice jump slash there to skip climbing. There's a clip you can do right here. You can basically skip. You're supposed to go all the way up top, but when you charge a lot of speed, Link will teleport down to the water. If you have positive speed, it's very important to have positive instead of negative, which is important because that way you just stay in place, and then you can just swim to the loading zone, as long as you don't go too far left.
Yeah, we gotta get up here. This should be good here. Look at this. Nice. I'm gonna need another. I'm gonna need like a chunk of silence here because this one's pretty long.
Yep. A bunch of blind movement coming up.
Get some music here. There's a little cutscene here that plays. And here we go. Okay, we made it to the
Very nice. So have to navigate to this area and then beat the chews while blind.
Very fast, holy cow.
No jellies, nice.
Oh yeah, because we have the spoils back there, I mentioned that earlier, it's a detriment rather than a boon. You can pick up chew jellies there if they die too close to you when you're spin slashing there. So you can lose a bit of time. But there, the deck tree goes in like this whole monologue and Makari gets stuck in Forbidden Woods or whatever. We skip all of that there. We just pop it right back over here. Do the same flip again to get back in.
Yeah, even though we have to go all the way back in and do all this movement again, it's still quite a bit faster than watching the cutscene. Optimally, it's about 50 or so seconds, so even like all of this saves a lot of time. Because the cutscene's really long.
In regular all dungeons, and any percent, so you need to leave layer 2, because you spawn at outset. Do this one again. Did I a bit too early? I did hit the inputs at least. Just climb all the way up back here. Had to leave, gotta go to the dungeon. There's a cool little
In
trick
the
here.
GameCube version, you zombie hover up to the top, which we won't see a single time in this entire game, but it's basically a way to gain height. You have to die to do it, and you have to heal. But this
Nice.
game doesn't have... Whoa, nice.
I can hit those.
This game
but I
doesn't have the
can't
tingle
focus.
tuner, so you can't heal from zombie hovers, so we can't really gain height that well in this game.
Oh, the 90% one for SD. Yeah, bulb skip pretty quick. You can skip the last bulb there. Unfortunately, I missed it. The leaf, I think it was because it moved there. I could have gone more right on the angle to mediate that, but the angle usually works for me. This has been time there. Pretty unfortunate. But yeah, I can hit survive grapple hook, but I can't focus on it. That's how it goes. But
Well, you
80%,
got dealt a whopping quarter of a heart. I hope you don't die.
I'm pretty low now.
This game does not care about fall damage, apparently.
No,
It
just
really,
a quarter
it
of a
really
heart.
does not. I think like the only Zelda that really does is Breath of the Wild. I died a lot playing that game, trying to go off cliffs because it was fun.
Alright, really close to dying, so I hope you don't die.
Yeah, we're gonna hit this time. It's a pretty easy trick, but if you fail it, it's pretty annoying. It saves a good amount of time because it takes a while to just last but the leaf extends a bit though, so you kind of just land on the missile part of it. You guys go down here. A couple while falling, which gives a lot of people a scare.
That's a really cool equip. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorites. You just jump off the ledge and just equip it.
My favorite part is it usually syncs with the music depending on your leaf timing, or depending on how long it takes you to get up there.
What?
Here, it usually takes it's very annoying to get to that dungeon like normally, but we have item sliding, so we just kind of go straight in. Yeah, these
You
flowers
see
there-
Raven slashing the sword. Basically, if you so when you slash the sword, you go in the direction Link faces, and then you can press target to lock Link's face angle, so Link will slash exactly where the dot is, and that's really, really nice. And here you see why we got bombs. Bombs are so broken in this dungeon.
They're very good. This dungeon takes about 5 minutes, counting the movement to get here. That might be too low. Never mind.
So there you saw leaf pumping, basically taking out the leaf and then putting it away and then taking it out immediately. It not pressing A. It's pressing A to something else. That maintains your height.
Yeah, pressing A like knocks things away from you. So like when you're flying to that place casually, most people don't know this. I didn't for the longest time until I played Rando. You hit the leaf button again and it knocks them off you. Yeah, it's very nice. I have never hit that movement in the run before, so I'm glad.
Very nice movement. I love the movement in this game. It's crazy, dude.
I hit that a lot in practice, but I've never actually hit it while I have splits up. I guess it's still true, but
And here you also see Raven pulling out 2 bombs, chaining them together and slashing the back one. Slashing a bomb is a faster way to make it explode. But if you're too close to the flower, it will kind of it'll be invulnerable. It'll close. So if you chain 2 bombs together, you can be far enough back to slash it and have the bomb that's closest to it break it, because it's faster than waiting for the bomb to explode on its own.
I missed the apron sliding roll. Oh well. And there you kind of carry the bomb, so I don't really see it as worth it to go for it, and you kind of drop in the water anyway if you do. I didn't pull a bomb there. If you pull a bomb here, it skips Link turning around because he can't while he's holding something. Immediately. The bomb's pretty good for that too. Otherwise you can spit them, but that's just simpler. You notice here, we're going to the boss. We've not done anything in this dungeon, we kind of showed up. That's because we can use positive speed again to kind of just clip to this wall here. Just hold it on this to get enough speed here. There we go. We're just on the other side.
So that takes a lot of speed, so it scares new runners because it looks like you're gonna crash the game, because you get so much speed for that. And then basically Link, he swims for 1 frame and then pops up in an out of bounds, and then you can just leaf. Leaf is so powerful in this game
Where's
too. A lot of boss key skips would not be possible
Link
without
is
leaf.
not in this cutscene. Okay, he's like in the flower. I converted my speed to positive there, just because I think it's funny when he's not there at all. But I also like coming at this. You notice I don't move or anything. That's how you get to kill this boss. The grapple hook, as mentioned earlier, with that one backtail string, it does damage. So you can knock these down with just the grapple hook here, which is pretty precise. But once you get used to the aim, it's not too bad. The units is cool. You can sometimes hit 2 of them at once, which is pretty good, even more precise. Getting a couple of those here. This is technically possible in SD. Technically. But you can't move while in first person on that game. And there's also no motion control, so it takes longer to put your camera up there. So, but they actually, they patched in HD. You can use bombs. Right there, unfortunately. You can use bombs to hit him and hit Calidanos through the ball. Pretty clean there. Missed one of the hits of the first spin, but pretty good fight.
That can get really annoying. If you start missing a bunch, the vines will regrow, and then you have to go all the way around again, and it loses a lot of time.
And depending on how fast you kill it, sometimes, like, if the thing's going up, it'll, like, sometimes it'll grow, sometimes it'll shake vigorously like it did there. It's weird.
Yep. And then you saw jump slash quick spins, very powerful. Jump slash quick spin actually can double hit Calidemos. So it only takes 2 jump slash quick spins, both double hitting, to deal full damage to the boss. It's actually really funny with the Master Sword. If you ever refight Calidemos in the Trials, you can literally just do a single jump slash quick spin and it's just dead in 1 hit.
Every time I go to the Trials to practice this fight, when my hacking tools don't work for practice, he just dies instantly. It's very funny. And we get to see Makar too. Good job, Makar.
Thankfully, Makar is safe.
Yeah, sadly I didn't have a second pet saver for Makar. I just have it for my little Guilty Gear minion.
I see him a little bit in the chair. He's kind of small, but I see him a little bit.
Yeah, I got up today. One of the vendors, when I walked in, because I didn't know where to go, I just kind of walked around. I saw that immediately, so I bought it right away.
Can you show him to the camera?
No, I couldn't figure out where the camera was. I was looking at the projector. Oh, no. He's down.
Oh no, Makar!
That's foreshadowing. Don't pay attention to that.
This is Makar's show now.
Alright, put him back over here in his comfy chair. Get on the microphone too. Man, he's gonna play us a lovely little tune. And it's all downhill from here. This is the best cutscene in the game. We're not getting anything better than that. And they set off to go plant their trees across the world to spread the forest. We don't need to care about, though. They all fail miserably, but we're not doing Kondo, so they just get to sit there for a while. Hopefully they'll figure it out, though. So notice.
Hey, we saved the world. Isn't that enough?
Notice some of their leaves are not fit for their model. Like they're kind of clipping through. Like the one of the tall guys was like his chest was clipping through. Gonna stay warp right out here because it's faster than going all the way down. It also heals us too, because when you save and quit, you always go to at least 3 hearts, and that's all we have, so it's always a full heal. Sadly, it does not do that for magic though. It'd be very nice if it did that for magic. This is another hard swim. It's not nearly as hard as the last one, with the one on Grapefish, but it can be pretty tricky. If I can get useless here. Oh, that should be good. A bit slow, but I think we make this here. Yeah, we definitely do, if I already see that island. There's our temple there. But yeah, we have to let Beetle move there a little bit, so his barrel lets us slide against the wall into the water. Otherwise, it's just immediate drop.
It's really hard to see during the super swims at this point because of the fact that it's pitch black during this endless night. Until we get Nairu's Pearl from Outset, where we are right now, we'll have to be swimming in the pitch black dark.
Which luckily only is, like, this one swim here. Also, there is a strat here that you can use to void out to make this a bit faster instead of ring, but I'm already, after the Gravefish thing, I'm probably going to go against that because it has a chance to crash. It's pretty easy to avoid if you just do it right, but I'm just going to play it safe. It only loses a tiny bit of time.
You just stay warp in the water, yeah.
But
I believe it's about
go against that
7
wall,
seconds?
I charge, I let Link's head bob up and down about 6.5 times as I hit target. There is a metronome you could use for it, which most people do, but I do it based off how Link moves his head. Which I'm pretty consistent with, but like, I also was pretty consistent with Gravefish swim, so we're just gonna be safe. Yeah, we go to the water here. Yeah, it takes us right back to outset. It takes us to the same place anyway. We just have to go through this part here. So like, yeah, like Alberto said, after the charging, it's about 7 seconds you save, give or take. Here's gonna be a bit faster because I talked to the boat once earlier, so we're gonna have one less text box here, but he usually talks here for like a good 30 seconds. Here he just has 3 now instead of 4.
Yep, he had all this pent-up energy.
Oh, he still has another one. I guess that other one was different. Also, that first one there, if you match A and B, you can jump out of the boat by accident, so I'm only matching A for that first one at least. He keeps talking to you after you're sitting there drowning anyway, but it's just annoying to climb back in the boat. Luckily here on MWSF2023 with the Dark Swims, I have a map on my gamepad. In managed pursuit runs, you do not ever get the map because you skip a trigger for it. So if I ever second guess myself, I can flip down if I hit the L button to change the menu. But this is why this category, like a big reason why this category is much nicer rather than skipping rails in general. It's really easier to do these swims.
Another really nice change in this game is that you can see where the bomb is aimed at. They added an HD version targets that show you exactly where the bomb is being aimed. So it makes it just really, really, really easy in this game. And there's swirls. You just aim at the swirls, top to bottom, and that's what you're supposed to do to get this.
I always forget SD didn't have that. It's so bad.
Yeah. I think it's more annoying in the 100% category for bomb ships and octos, because this is the only time we're going to use the bombs in the ship.
Oh, and the reefs.
And the reefs, is that what you said?
Yeah. The one nice thing with reefs, though, is like Goma, HD reef islands, they lag really bad, but they don't in SD. But HD also has it, so you can see where you're aiming, and when you get hit in the boat, you don't fall out. The only way you can fall is if you hit a barrel. Or vertical.
Yeah, and they added the swift sail too, but we're not going to get the swift sail at all. Basically, there's this faster sail that you can get from auction. It, for a while, was optimal to get in the 80% category, but with super swimming, with item sliding, we don't have to sail as much. We do sail some. There's one more sailing section coming up, and even despite the fact that we have this sailing section, it's a bit slower because you have to go all the way to the auction and bid on the swift sail. It's faster to just do this sailing section without the swift sail, which is very nice because if we had to get the swift sail for this category, I don't know if I'd ever run it.
Yeah, in 100% it's better now because Pause Swords lets you steal from Zunari, so you don't have to grind rupees. Yeah, it's still a little bit of RNG because you can still get the Joy Pendant, but if you're buying anything anyway, it's like much nicer. Because yeah, with Pause Swords you can save warp when he gives you the item before you pay, and it's very funny. But otherwise it's like a 20% chance to get it each time. I had the movement angle there, I just didn't have the speed to like fall off the rock. And here you see Link dip into the ground there. That's why I mentioned earlier when I mentioned the speed setup for this island. As soon as Link dips down, that's like the speed pretty much. So it's like a very consistent speed to Super Sumo. And it's very convenient.
That's going to be used again later. We like to call that a weird shot. And there's a trick coming up where we need to have an exact amount of speed for a clip called door clip, and that we're also going to be using the property of the weird shot. Weird shots happen at the same speed every time. That dip always happens, so whenever that dip happens, we know the exact speed Link has, and it's usually when we have to release our speed. Because if we have the wrong, if you charge even a few frames off the amount of time you want to charge, your speed gets multiplied by 1.2 every frame. So if you're even a few off, you can be hundreds of times, thousands of times higher than the speed you need, and it could take hours, which we don't have hours. So
yeah, speed in this game, like what is it, like duplicate by 2 times like every frame.
1.2 every frame, you're multiplying. So I think that's multiplying by 2 every 3 frames or something.
Yeah, it's still pretty nuts. There might use this bat so we can bit it down. My camera's weird, so hopefully we still got this. There we go.
That's why it's just very common for beginners to crash, because they don't really have an idea of how long to charge item slides, so they overcharge them, and then they just... if you go too far out of bounds, the game can't calculate your position and you crash. And that's very common when beginners learn the manual, the item slide.
My settings are not messed up. The most common thing to mess up with how I do Daikatari cutscene skip Because when you hit the B button in that menu, it exits out. But if you hit the D-pad and then hit B, it doesn't. And if you hold it and hold B, it doesn't. I don't like to call my controller the hold bind movement, so I don't claw it until the end. So I just tap it. And sometimes that'll mess up the movement there, or the menu there. But if you do the taps perfectly, it'll perfectly reset. So, which the target in question will, it's toggle target instead of hold, so it'll stay there if I let go of the button still. That's usually where I end up seeing it. And here's Link's second concussion of the run, so this brain injury is gonna make him go even faster.
And this is the longest part in the entire run. This is 2 minutes straight of no inputs. However, Raven likes to split for Link's splatting on the tower. So, unless you're Raven, this is a really nice bathroom break for you, but Raven splits for the splat, and the split name is literally splat when you watch live streams. So, I guess no bathroom break for you.
I still can, because my bathroom's like outside my door, but it's really tight. So, I usually just hold it. But I gotta commit to the bit, it's too funny not to. Especially if you gold.
Alright, get ready to split.
There is a space bar, I don't know if it does anything, so I'm not gonna touch it.
No, no.
I don't think the computer's on, but...
Splat!
Yeah, it makes a sound there, it has a music cue, it has my split sound effect too, it's like, it lines up perfectly, I just can't not. At first I mentioned it, like, telling them, you should do this, it's really funny, and people like it, and like, I want to go to the bathroom, and like, I understand, but it's funny. That's like the best reason to do anything. And here, a lot of people hate this section in terms of speedrun, and casually too, honestly. But that's just because you can't really sequence break it too much past the beginning part. The first one we're going to skip entirely, but you actually can glitchlessly as well. It's funny enough, the glitchless method is like significantly harder to do than what I'm going to do here. It's like, I don't know the frame window for the leaf bumps there, but I just know it's absurdly precise. Because glitches, you can't go out of bounds, but you don't technically have to get past it. So glitches have a lot of loopholes like that, but people like them because their strats are cool and unique.
You can actually item slide super swim to skip, and it would be faster to item slide super swim to skip this floor, but the water goes up too quickly. So that's because of the intro cutscene. Otherwise, we would want to do that optimally. So you can actually item slide to skip it as well. There's like 3 different ways to skip this floor.
And here we just hop up here. Let's just grab the ledge with that little hop there. We push ourselves out of bounds with this bomb. Just leap over here. I don't get leaf that much. I know.
Yeah, when Leaf, basically you hold into the bomb, and then the bomb will push Link out of bounds, because when you're on a ledge, it kind of ignores your hitbox a little bit, so the bomb pushes you, it takes priority, and that pushes you right out of bounds.
Yeah, turn to the right here, so the laser swings a bit too far to the side to hit me. If you keep going to the right there, the laser will just hit you immediately. That's kind of cringe, but... Here we do a minor thing here.
Rolling over that switch so that you go onto the moving platform.
You notice I pulled the item there and then side hopped, and that makes it so when I convert positive speed, I move to the left instead of the right like you usually do, and that just lets me get to the door faster without having to do extra inputs. That's a really good up angle. You can't do the target trick there because the shoe's there without being like perfect. Unfortunately, I turned my camera a bit there. I was like, I let go of my hand too early so the controller moved, but... there we go. That's how it's supposed to go. Because there I'm targeting with positive speed, so I'm going straight to the right there. If my camera moves at all, Link just goes into the void instead of into the wall like I want him to. This, to my knowledge, is like one of, if not like the oldest Wind Waker tricks that like some kid found in a casual playthrough and showed his brother who was on the internet. You call it over there, and you can just pull it through the floor if you crawl. It's very funny.
It's called Jack Clip because a guy named Jack found it, and he was like this 11-year-old kid named Jack.
And his trick has lasted the test of time. Why did I not... Link didn't have any... I don't know how that happened. He's supposed to jump like twice as far as that. Like,
I'm guessing it's because you held target and you kind of moved diagonally.
True. Yeah, see there, I made that jump that was way farther. Usually I hold target, there's the hold an angle. I guess I just never get up one. Oh, I don't...
Yeah, if Link has low speed and you go off a ledge, he doesn't get a big jump. He gets a little teeny jump.
Steve, I hit my fancy movement here. It's pretty gratuitous, but it's cool, so...
Yeah, this is what I actually really like this dungeon from a speedrun perspective because it has a lot of in-depth item sliding movement.
I'm in the same boat. There we go, you did it. There, I am converting positive. After charging for like a certain amount of time, I'm hitting bomb to pull up my sword and then immediately jump slashing. All with like a tiny bit of time to get up that ledge like a half a second faster. Otherwise, you literally just go item slide there and climb up.
Yeah, so we keep talking about negative versus positive speed. There's two different speed values in this game, negative and positive. When you are moving around normally, in most scenarios, 99% of the time you have positive speed. Link only gets negative speed when you want to move in direction, you hold target, and then hold the opposite direction. And so when we're item sliding, the default speed you charge is negative speed. So you're getting a lot of negative speed. Also, manual super swim gives you a lot of negative speed, and you can only super swim in the water with negative speed. So negative speed is kind of like backward speed, and positive speed is like forward speed, if you think about it.
Maybe we do a little trick here. Right up in that corner there. Doing it for a particular thing to get an angle here. We don't want to use command meld. We have it. You need it later, but we don't want to use it here because that's slow. It's really slow because like cutscene for opening the bridge and whatever. We're gonna line my foot up here. This little yellow bit here. That should work. Side up a few times here. And there we go. Just skip right past it. Yeah, that trick has
it's a like, very, very precise side hop.
It's had various setups over the years, but like that trick in general has also lasted a very long time. That's kind of why people don't like Tower of the Gods as much. It's had like very little like changes. It's kind of just like a bunch of minor optimization, which I think is cool. I like it a lot, but I understand why people got tired of it over so long. Here we're going to do a little glitch with this Dark Knight here. If you damage his armor and then break it a normal way, the damage carries over to his actual health. So we're gonna ideally here get a couple more spins. One more here. Can't seem to spin correctly. Should kill him. Bit sloppy there with how he swung in my I mistimed the spin input, but yeah, he dies instantly as soon as you do that, so it's pretty nice.
The fact he only took a half heart from his attack makes me upset.
Hey, Link is just built different. I'm sorry you play Minish Cap where that Link dies, but this one's cool.
You really don't need heart containers at all. In most categories, you really don't. I mean, 100% it's required, and there are places you would die without it. In the boat, you take off full heart of damage if you get hit by something, so I get that. You can die from that. That's basically it, though.
Fortunately, the bubble moved too far to the right there and hit my leaf thing, but he shouldn't be a problem if I don't put something there. And here I leaf over. It's not fast as item select, the Link will blast him anyway, but yeah, there he's too far to the side with how his cycle works. It's just nice to kill him because it doesn't lose time too. I'm missing a heart here, or like a heart and a half, which I'm gonna grab a heart drop soon because I don't like the sound, but I don't need one. There is also a spotlight I'm gonna take damage, but I'm not in danger of getting killed by it, so.
Yeah, we've got a save warp coming up out of this dungeon, which refills your health again. So, once again, don't want to have to worry about health. And there's a lot of convenient hearts, even if yellow.
Yeah. There's one outside this door to the left, I think. It's either left or right, I forget. I hardly grabbed it. I usually grab one like before I go out. Where's my pause button there?
So, fun fact about this puzzle, you're supposed to do this big puzzle of shooting a bunch of arrows at different eyes to reach this statue. But you can actually kind of just leaf across, even if you don't item slide.
That's fine. There, you can do this without avoiding out, but if you fail it, you just go where you're going anyway, so it's like fairly slower. You like don't lose time to go for it, so. Okay,
I hope you don't get hit by keys here.
I lured the button the second one was unlucky. Just wait for this guy to go. He wants to tap me. There he goes. He's drowning.
He just likes you too much.
He just went into the water.
Yeah, it's just RNG whether you get hit by keys there. Unfortunately, they hit you off the ladder.
This one you kind of control. If they're to the right, they don't have enough time to hit you, which is nice. But the first one, when I side hopped off the ledge, he does get latched onto me, and there's like a time before you can do it again. So I'm gonna go safe here because my health is low. But is there? I know there's a bad jump outside this door. Is there a heart one too?
I know there is in the main room.
So yeah, I'm gonna go a bit slower here and charge backwards. So I have. Never mind, I didn't have the speed for it. I hit the switch somehow.
Oh, nice cutscene.
So yeah, we're super low in health here, so I'm gonna actually like shoot the things out of the sky. It's pretty sketchy. After taking like 30 hits, we're finally low. At least this guy. This Keese wants to get close. I was hoping for a hard drop from the one, but that was scary for a second there. Is that a heart? He did not give me anything. Okay. That's a rupee up there. How did it get up there?
There is a heart in the next room.
Yeah, the danger's all gone at least. I just wanted to get it early. Yeah, taking that room a bit safe kind of sucks, but I'm just gonna throw these things across there.
There is a way to skip putting all these statues on the other side, but it involves side hopping a bunch of times to raise the thing, because when you're midair, it goes up. And then you have to very quickly get over with a jump, and it's really hard. And nobody does it in runs, but you do see that in tasks.
I've tried it a bit, but the side hops are like, you have to be perfect the entire time. It's very rough.
Yeah, it's really, really hard.
But yeah, there is danger ahead, so I'm definitely gonna grab a heart here, at least. There's a couple Arnos and a laser we have to go through. The laser is pretty easy to get enough speed to go past without touching it, but...
Really, just one heart will do it.
Yeah. It's not that one. Is the one over here? I forget. I could have saved myself on the way. So that's my bad. But... Let's see if I can get this. There we go. I'm still on a ledge there that's like slay above ground enough to jump off of. You can alternatively backflip and leaf, but I prefer this one just to like have as much magic as possible for later. Okay, we're just gonna item slide back here, and again straight forward, and right at this chest. It's a very cool looking one, just right there. And this boss key, I don't know if there's a way to skip it in HG. I know there's an SG, but like it opens this door. Otherwise, these guys don't spawn or start attacking you. So like, there's just no point to skip it outside of like if you're doing a random.
There's actually something really weird that happened to you just there that I don't know why it happens, but I promise you it's like nobody knows why. But when you left the chest area, like there's supposed to be a cutscene of the switches, the switches, getting pressed, and you didn't get the cutscene, and I still to this day have no idea what causes that to not play.
I always forget that's a thing until it like just happens randomly. I'm gonna grab this because I don't want this sound
to my knowledge, it's just random. I don't know if it's a camera angle thing. I don't know, but sometimes it just doesn't play. And
something with,
I had it in glitchless runs, and the run was verified. So.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe it's something with like how I opened the chest because I had a perfect item slide there, and like I did it immediately. But if it's glitchless too, I have no idea. Though.
Yep, I've had it in glitchless runs too, and it's spooky. Trust me, guy.
Yeah, go and tell us to trust him with his dialogue there.
Trust me, guy.
I have no idea what he's actually saying whatever Hyrule language, but that's just what it sounds like, so it's great. This fight, the hands are RNG, but the head you can mostly control. It's a pretty weird fight because it's all controlled by timing and Link's positioning, so it's really awkward to get perfect with seeing how this goes.
The hands can respawn randomly. It's a random timer how long it takes for them to respawn.
They can also like sometimes just path in front of the head, which always sucks. There the head was like really weird. I'm not gonna go for 1 second, I'm just gonna go safe. I'm going to go and shoot the first time.
Yep. There you saw Raven go underneath the head. When the head goes to shoot the lasers, you can just cancel it by going underneath.
Be nice if this one did the swipe attack earlier, because the swipe attack sets health to 1 instead of 2. Yeah, there's another instance.
No, hand got in the way.
That happened in the practice run earlier. That was a 1 sec otherwise, timing-wise, assuming the last shot, but...
Yeah, so you can get all of the eye shots without having the laser mouth attack happening.
So... I'm really on that one. I'm gonna go shoot the arrow. Luckily I'm going anyway, so grabbing the sniper was much slower.
This fight's really annoying because optimally 8 times 3 arrows you need is 24 arrows, and you have 30 in your quiver, and there's actually no way of getting a quiver upgrade without the skull hammer, which we cannot get by this point. So even casually, you have to do this fight with 30 arrows, or else you have to get snot arrows, and they only give you 10. So you try to not get snot arrows in a speed run, but because of how much RNG there is in this fight, and the hands dodging, the head dodging, hands respawning, it's very rare that you see somebody not get the snot arrows. So we had to get it once.
Yeah, you can see me with the head. I'm controlling the head mostly with Link's position because it's always trying to move straight at him if I'm far enough. That's why I'm like always going away from it each time. But I mean, one of the times with the hand moving in front of it and screwed me up. But here we're gonna do a pause sword setup. This one, unlike the other two, was not frame perfect. We could just set this one up. The setup looks good.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Nice. You can tell it worked. Link is actually now in the center. You can tell because the HUD disappeared, all the buttons and everything. That basically this trick allows you to save and quit on the frame that you trigger the warp. And that is what is required for triggering the dungeon. Now, we don't want to trigger the warp, because that takes you down to high roll, and then you have to pull the Master Sword, but you can actually skip all of that. There's a way to get the Master Sword without even pulling it. So it's faster to just save and quit, and then just sail out from Tower of the Gods.
And this point is when I was most worried about going in, because Dorothy's been really iffy for me lately, but I did it for like 5 hours last night, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that can just randomly fail. This is the last sailing section of the dungeon. You can't super swim from Tower of the Gods because of the fact that there's no land that you can even stand on. So the closest island that's in this wind direction, because remember, we can't even change the wind direction, skip that song, oops, is Bomb Island. So you're gonna take, it's about a quadrant and a half. And then, so what's supposed to prevent you from going to Forsaken Fortress early is that you can't sail to the quadrant, the boat will kind of turn you away if you don't have the Master Sword. But with item sliding, you can get to anywhere you want, and even at places that you're not supposed to get to early. So you can get here early. We can go to Forsaken Fortress.
There is 2 ways to get in. One, if you're lazy and have enough air for it. The bombs in the cannons at the door turn enough to hit the door from the ends, like, themselves. So if you sit in front of the door, they'll eventually break it down. Which we obviously don't do because there's a cutscene at the door. You don't want that, and that gets the boat there too. We use that later to spawn the boat in, but there's also a little ledge that you can swim onto in the side of the island. It's like a weird piece of collision that lets you can super swim off it too, that we do later. But you can clip into the island from that because the wall is slanted, and that's how we get in for this as soon as So we got rain here, which kind of sucks, so it's gonna be dark.
Yeah, it's really hard to see when it's nighttime like this. It's really annoying.
Never mind, it's gone
hopefully
again. We're good.
Daytime, yay!
Minnesota
I hope
weather
this
right
day
there.
lasts forever. Surely this day won't end anytime soon.
It would never end. We got like another a good amount of time for this.
Yeah, we got like 15 minutes left on this day, right?
We got a good amount. Okay, there's Great Fairhouse. Like, where am I going? Am I going right anymore?
Gotta approach this island really slowly, or else Link will sploosh and lose all of his speed.
Yeah, so we kind of go by this rock. It's like a good landmark to look for seeing if it loads. And here we're just gonna slide right in here, right in the island. Okay, clip grapple hooks. I prefer item sliding with this with the reticle.
Uh-oh. Why is time going so quickly? Uh-oh.
No, the day ended. No.
No, not the day! That was my favorite day!
It's no longer my birthday now.
Lots of really cool movement in this area.
There I'm actually switching between positive and negative speed a couple times because different slopes you clip on depending on which value your speed is. So there we have to like switch them, otherwise we go like straight to the island because everyone thinks it's slide here. Again, it's terrible at building walls. Why did I go speed there? Ganon cannot build a straight wall.
You're supposed to fight Phantom Ganon before going to this area. We will fight Phantom Ganon. We're gonna do it later. I'll explain later. I can explain later why we don't do it now. But you actually can, but it makes the speedrun more annoying. But instead, we're gonna go around the trigger, and then going to clip through this door. So you don't need the skull hammer because you can just clip in. And we have to clip in anyway because the pause storage glitch only works if we're clipped into the door. You can't do it while opening the door.
Wait for this bomb to go away. Might shot into the water. Speed's right, that should work soon.
So Link's just running up against the door, but he's actually losing speed. We're waiting until Link reaches about 2,400 units of speed, I believe. And then when that happens, he'll clip and just jump into the door. Looks like we got quite a bit speed. Oh, there we go.
I think I clipped out. I'm not gonna lie. I might be wrong though. No, we're good. Okay.
We're still in? Alright, nice.
Because that door is like, you can stand pretty far outside of it. It's pretty weird. Do a safe setup here. Doesn't lose that much time compared to side hopping, but it's not free purpose, so it's... What?
Oh, I don't think you targeted the wall. I was about to say something. I don't think you targeted the wall. Sometimes you don't target it.
I targeted a couple times there, so that sucks. It loses a couple minutes. It's not like as bad
It looked
as
a
other things,
little
but-
off.
Yeah, it's
The reason that
unfortunate,
happened was Link was too far forward. So basically, the way these setups work is that you release the spin attack on the same frame by home buffering. You hold the option button home, and then when you release home, you release those buttons, and they both get released on the same frame. So Link moves forward, and then triggers the loading zone on the same frame as the option menu coming out. But it looks like you're a little too far forward, so the spin attack hit the loading zone before the option menu had a chance to come out. So.
Yeah, I usually go like super hug the wall on that to make sure, but it looks good to me, so... Oh well. This isn't as bad as I missed the last one, because the last one, if I mess up and it like enters the portal, like I did here, then I have to do like 5 minutes of high roll of extra, and it's really bad, because like a bunch of...
Okay, at least we get more lore.
Yeah, now we get to save Arrow at least. Otherwise, you gotta just...
Yeah, I mean, that's a good benefit of that.
Yeah, when you enter this room, your save flag gets set to the room, so when you do it, you're just immediately right here, so it's really fast. But fortunately, the setup messed up, but...
And so, as I mentioned, we didn't fight Phantom Ganon. Well, I really hope we fight Helmrock, because that's one of my favorite bosses. Wait, you're not gonna fight Helmrock?
You should look at my upper...
man. Why did you... Wait, is this the right speedrun?
This is all dungeons. This is not technically a dungeon. I guess
All dungeons?
Technically, the end. We touched the door, so that's the portal.
Why do these speedrunners have to fight all... they have to skip all my favorite bosses.
There is a category that's very cool called All Bosses Triforce, where you fight everything and don't do barrier skip. It's a very cool category. 100% you fight him too. Glitchless you don't. Glitchless you skip him too, and that's like the Tower of the Gods thing. One of the hardest tricks in general in this game, but you don't got that bounce for it, so it works in glitchless.
So since when does this cutscene actually have somebody carrying Errol?
Oh yeah, in Manual Super Swim, you never see the pirates, so they don't load. So Errol just kind of Superman flies away at the end. It's very good.
Yeah, but since pause storage has been found, we haven't been watching that cutscene, so you don't even get to see it anymore in the 80% category. It's a really funny cutscene of Errol just floating away.
Here, we'll go back to the game then, if that's like... I have to like it better. Usually I do that just
Alright,
by the
more
video,
item
but-
sliding.
I will say this thing is nicer to mash on. I like the buttons on my controller a lot. And up we go. This takes forever to roll up this, so I'm so glad you could just do this.
Whee!
Here we go into this one, get my hair in my face. You clamp this, turn around, and he pushes you through. Just crawl into the spikes here. And up here now, so off we go. You can roll here. Task, you can item slide. Rolling barely saves time, item slide obviously saves a lot. Let's go here. Do a slow back up. That was almost clean if I did it slightly more to the right, but... Now we get another cutscene. This one we sadly can't skip. This also, if you notice, my sword is Master Sword now. We did
Oh,
it.
how'd you get that?
Ganon gave it to us.
That's
It's a
weird.
very nice present.
Thanks, Ganon. You're a bro.
That's what he said there. If you translate the Italian, he said, "Here's a sword, man. You deserve it."
For all you've been through. Here's the Master Sword. Use it to defeat me, I dare you.
And Link's just mad because he really liked the Orca one. He had attachment to it. And now it's
Why
gone.
did you give me the sword?
I don't like this one. It's
Well, I'm gonna stab you with the sword you gave me. Cause you're mean.
Yep.
Alright. Time for the run to end. 147. New world record. Link stabs Ganon. The end. GG.
We did it. Sadly, Link sucks.
Just kidding. The run didn't end. I'm sorry. I'm glad you didn't stop. You didn't stop the timer.
I think they waited for me to say that, so I think we're good on that. Also, really quick, I want to mention there's like a box for an air conditioner over there, and it has like a circle of like colors. It's like a circle of spheres that's colored, and it just reminds me of the if any of you were around for that, the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite pre-order bonus, the Infinity eggs. That's just all I think of. I've been thinking about that for like the past hour and a half. I had to mention it. It's a very big cause of controversy because it's not what they advertise. But here, he finds out Tetra has part of the Triforce here. Like, it's like, I need that. Give me that. Oh yeah, also Zelda. I forgot this cutscene actually said her name. Otherwise, it's not spoiled because we skipped the actual Zelda cutscene.
We're going down to Hyrule. Now, there's supposed to be 3 Hyrule trips. In a casual playthrough, you have Overworld separated by 3 Hyrule trips. The first 2 are fairly early, and then the last one is after a very lengthy Triforce quest. In this category, we're only going to see 1 trip down to Hyrule, and so that's going to be the second trip in a casual playthrough. That's going to be the only trip we do. And so basically the first trip we skipped, so that was supposed to happen after beating Tower of the Gods, and by doing the pause storage glitch, by getting to the loading trigger, then we can escape the dungeon while still technically having beaten it. And so that first trip down to Hyrule, you're supposed to pull the Master Sword. You can't even leave Hyrule unless you have pulled the Master Sword. The boat will not let you in. And that is also when you pull the Master Sword is when Hyrule is supposed to be turned to color. So in this trip, you're going to notice because we skipped that, we never pulled the Master Sword. The Master Sword will still be in its holder, and if you try to pull the Master Sword, the game will crash. So don't do that. And it'll also be in black and white, though. Actually, in this game, it's not black and white because in the HD version they changed it so that instead of it being black and white, it's kind of faded. I don't know if I like that change. I kind of preferred it black and white in the GameCube version.
It made it very hard for old barriers. I didn't like that. But another thing to note with that cutscene too, we just watched. Even if we could skip it, we can't, because it sets something called Animation Set 2, which allows us to access the second half of the game. The first half is Animation Set 1. As soon as you finish taking Order 2 is like the midway of the game pretty much, so they set the flags for you to be able to do everything else, in the overworld and everything. And I'm pretty sure that's when the boat no longer stops you from going anywhere pretty much. That's when you're fully free.
That's when you pull the Master Sword. When you have the Master Sword, the boat lets you get anywhere.
Well, you're forced after that anyway, so.
So yeah, so that cutscene of freeing Errol, that is a mandatory cutscene. You can't even beat the game after because all the cutscenes after are in a state called Animation Set 2. They require an Animation Set change, which is this flag that you keep track of. And so when you're in Animation Set 2, you can watch late game cutscenes. Otherwise, they crash. So this one as well. This would crash if we hadn't watched the cutscene of before Helm Rock.
Here we can go inside, but instead we're just gonna. So nice clip. We're just gonna hide and slide through, straight to the other side. There's usually a little cutscene that plays. Otherwise, of you entering the building, but if you just go on if you go on the back side instead that way. Didn't get used to there.
Really cool clip here. We're gonna enter this area from the backside. That doesn't actually trigger the cutscene of Tetra to Zelda. Because the trigger is not the same as a loading zone. It's actually right in front of the loading zone. So if you go from the back, you don't trigger it. And now we're going to trigger pause storage from here. And now the cutscene will trigger, and now the cutscene is triggered because when we go out of the loading zone, then we trigger the cutscene because we walk right into the trigger. Which is it's a ground trigger, and this cutscene's really long, so luckily we can skip it.
5 minutes. You can see like in the fuzz, you can see green and yellow of Link and Tetra.
Yep. And then Tetra just mysteriously disappears and dies. The end.
Yeah, I don't know where she went. I think she went off her pirate ship. I think we'll see it in the credits. Here
so now the boat's gonna tell you to pull the Master Sword. Don't do that.
It's
it crashes
a trick.
The game.
It's a trick. It kills the game. It plays a burr sound. It's very funny.
Don't listen to the boat. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's pulling a little prank. He's a bit late to April 1st, but he's trying his best.
So now we're going to skip the barrier. Basically, it allows us to reach Genna's Tower early. It's going to skip a lot. The 80% category, it saves more time. There's a really nice setup for barrier skip that makes it way easier now than it used to be. First, you're going to cancel knockback, basically by pulling the Windmaker on the very last frame of Link flashing red. And there's a really easy setup. You have to get an extremely precise angle, but all you have to do is target this wall, shield turn once to the left, and you have the exact angle for barrier skip.
I'm gonna pause for that because I'm getting like weird visual. If you pause frame vertically, it does the same thing pretty much as just flicking it.
Yeah, it's just one frame of holding left while shielding, and that gives you the exact correct angle for barrier skip. And then what you do is you tap shield to go forwards, and then if everything's correct, you have the correct speed, you'll just go right through.
I think that's just too much speed. I'm just gonna wait.
I'm not quite sure your angle is correct. I'm not sure you targeted the wall. Sometimes you don't target the wall. It's really annoying.
Oh yeah, the camera changed. I definitely didn't. Oops. Unfortunate there. I accidentally attacked you twice. Didn't correct the roll enough. Keep missing my frame here. There we go.
Oh, there you go. You definitely targeted the wall that time. Okay, that looks like the correct angle to me. So now you just need to gain enough speed that Link can pop through. Basically, you have to have more than the speed. There we go. So you just have to have enough speed. You need technically about 35 units of speed to do that. Now, top rolling speed is 26. So item sliding allows you to reach the speed to get there. Actually, in the GameCube version, you can still do that same exact idea. But by dropping a bomb...
Didn't get much speed there, but
All right.
I just required more magic.
We voted out you'd have to do all that again, so...
It's very bad. And Link falls there. There's no wall behind there, so if you item slide, you die.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, now we reached Ganon's Tower early. The GameCube version can do that trick by dropping a bomb behind them, because when you drop a bomb behind you, you get pushed forward 50 units in one frame, allowing you to essentially imitate the speed of item sliding. So now we're in the last dungeon. Let's go beat the game, right?
Let's go do the trials. My favorite part. I love bosses.
Yeah, let's do all the trials. Here we go.
We're gonna start with the Irritable one. That one's my favorite.
All right, let's go on the door. Oh, you fell. Oh, climb back up. All right, there you go. Whoa!
Just gonna clip through there. We're gonna fly backwards here. Use that wall as an
Backwards,
indicator,
that's swag.
and we're in the load zone now.
That's super swag.
It's also faster.
So that was again another example of using
here's another
the
instance where
power.
you can sidle into a door. It's funny.
Oh yeah, the sidle, nice. Skip opening the door.
I have 5 arrows, so I got extra.
So yeah, this is seen a lot of times throughout the run. Basically, using a ledge clip where you move into a bomb and clip out of bounds, and then leaf to a loading zone.
Nice.
Nice, quick scoping.
That's another segment where you're supposed to have the boomerang. That's the last time we actually wouldn't need it. If you aim fast enough, but not too fast, because you have to emulate the speed of the boomerang, otherwise it doesn't work for some reason. They're very particular about coding that. Then you just activate it immediately. And we need that to get out of here, so it's very important.
Yeah, so we're not going to leave yet, and so the question is, why did we go there first and then kind of just leave? The reason is that there's supposed to be this cutscene that plays when you go to get this area, this light arrow maze, but by the way, luckily we already know the order. Wait, how do you know where you're going? What are you doing?
I'm just going. I don't know. I've got a good sense of direction.
So luckily this order is always the same of what rooms you're supposed to go to, so if you just have it memorized, then you just always know where to go.
I could not recite
You don't
it
have to beat
but
Phantom Gun in every
so.
room. But yeah, the reason for coming here second after opening the what is it called, the dark portal, is that if we had opened the dark portal after coming here, we'd watch a cutscene here and in the dark portal room. So that cutscene of showing you how to beat the puzzle.
In there, he has 3 places he can spawn in this room. In the tower, rather. The Forsaken Forge only has 2. Ground spawn's the fastest because he's right there, and on the ground he doesn't have to fall. He has a blue orb that you like hit back and forth like OOT, and then a red orb which can kill you pretty much instantly, and is just slower. It can kill you if you mess up, but obviously we want ground spawns. I never get them, so I'm glad I got one there at least. I'm gonna shoot him in the video, but there's the red orb there. Luckily here doesn't matter. He's like spawning in front of us anyway.
This Phantom Ganon only spawns when you get light arrows and can only be defeated with light arrows.
And the one Forsaken Fortress, also, you can only kill that one with Master Sword. You can knock it down with the bottle or the regular sword, but you can't hit it if you don't have the Master Sword.
Oh yeah, that's why we didn't beat Phantom Gun earlier. I remember now.
Yeah. Also,
I hadn't explained it yet.
it also makes, when you do door clip, that setup, mini ones will spawn in there, so you can't really do a setup live. So it's just way nicer anyway. We'll just see if I get all three here. I'm gonna grab arrows down below. But yeah, I love that last shot where you get all three in one shot. I'll line this up here. We're gonna do backflip leaf. That's too far back. And try to grab this ledge here. There we go. I'm gonna clip out of bounds with this, assuming the angle's correct. You can also do a roll clip there. I don't know if that actually worked or not. Sometimes, if you're not far enough to clip in, the roll clip will save you there. So it's kind of just nice to do anyway. So we're gonna line up here. We're gonna switch to Pro Controller. Assuming mine's still on, it is not. Whoops. Ideally here, this is frame perfect, so I can mess this up. We'll see. Yeah. I kind of expect that. It's hard to do it when your hands are shaking, so. You had to hit home and A on the same frame to make it buffer properly. Luckily, this cutscene's only like a minute and a half, so it's not the biggest time loss. At least the setup was fast, so it's all you can want. You couldn't technically do a setup at the bottom because there's no door at the entrance, but then you have to roll all the way up the stairs. You could technically item slide, but the reason I paused during item slide is not because you have to. It's because it makes it so I can actually get the angle reliably. You can technically do it fast enough to not have to pause before you stop moving forward, but it's absurdly difficult. There's like tricks people use where like they stick their thumb at a spot and then flick it down, but it's still unreliable. And you also can't see which way you're going if you turn it all, so it's very rough. But
yeah, TAS is the TAS will not ever pause for any item slide. You don't actually have to technically. It's just pausing makes it a lot easier to do reliably.
Yeah, you can pause a long time. A lot of times here I just kind of flick pause just to have like an extra half a second to do it. Yeah, starting I definitely recommend just do like a full second pause, get your angle, make your speed correct. Makes it much easier to get consistent speed each time. I do love this cutscene though, it's very menacing. The way you shapeshift into the puppet. I don't know where the bed goes, I still don't know what happens with that, it just kind of goes away. Yeah, this cutscene's like a minute and a half, so it's like one of the way nicer times things that mess up. If you had to mess it like that. You see, the bed's still there here. Let me move the curtain. Yeah, I'm scared of this guy. I don't want to fight him yet. So we're gonna leave.
Well, you haven't beaten all the dungeons.
I mean, I could still.
So you may notice now Link has the Mirror Shield and the fully charged Master Sword. That's actually the entire reason for watching this cutscene. Basically, you notice we're going to the end of the game, and then we're just gonna leave. So we're gonna go through the Dark Portal. That's gonna open up a shortcut to Hyrule. So now, normally you're supposed to then get the Triforce, and that allows you to get back to Hyrule. But instead, we can open up the Dark Portal, and that's the shortcut. So now we can come back here whenever we want. And then also, the light arrows are very important. The light arrows deal, well, they one-hit any enemy, but also they give you the fire and the ice arrows. So now, you're supposed to go to Mother and Child to get fire and ice. We have to go to
Fire Mountain Ice.
Yes, Fire Mountain Ice Ring, and you can't do that without elementals. So that allows you to skip having to get elementals the regular way. And then also, that cutscene gives us the fully charged Master Sword and the Mirror Shield. Mirror Shield is very useful for Earth Temple, and fully charged Master Sword is going to come up later.
Also, one more thing to know with light arrows. If you take light arrows to Goma, it heals her if you shoot her. So don't do that.
Yeah,
you
it doesn't actually work.
You can overload her health though, and like make it go above 99 and kill her that way, I think. But another ground spawn.
Nice ground spawn. So you can get a ground spawn or an air spawn. The ground spawn's faster.
Got one air spawn. We got two ground spawns still, so that's fine.
Yep. So we get the Skull Hammer, I believe, for a single usage. And that's it.
Technically,
I'm pretty sure it's just one.
We don't need the second one, but it's nicer to have the second one.
And then the second one is in from the hookshot room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first one, the only mandatory usage of the Skull Hammer is in Earth Temple to hammer a single peg to make a light shine.
Yep.
If we could skip that, I believe the Skull Hammer would be skippable, but I
Yeah,
don't think it'd save
unfortunately,
that much time.
that door we need to access is not a load zone, so we can't really clip to it. And we can't. There's no ground behind to open the door from that way either. Where am I going here? I'm going this way. Unfortunately, there, I could have targeted there actually. I was far enough. Yeah, we're gonna do that time. We're gonna use positive speed. Some mega charge here. There we go. Clipped in place there, unfortunately. Just gotta pull more to the right. There we go.
Yeah, Link can clip on any slope. So any slope you can do that item slide clip.
The speed's kind of low here. I'm gonna go to Windfall, assuming I make this. Yeah, go to Windfall for safety.
I guess the other reason to mention that we went down to Hyrule, the Tetra to Zelda cutscene is mandatory because you have to watch that cutscene in order to spawn Medley. In order to get to Earth Temple, you need to spawn Medley. So that, actually, the GameCube version of the game does not ever watch the Tetra to Zelda cutscene, and they can't because they have this early Earth Temple glitch. But that does not. There's one problem with the early Earth Temple glitch, so I'll explain later. Alright, so you can just save warp in the fire and just spawn on the boat. You need to be in the boat to shoot the ice arrow. So
And
have to
then
save
you
warp.
notice that's one of the islands, like the key ones early on, when you're swimming for Dragon Roost, that'll kill all of your speed. If you come from that angle, I'm used to having Tower of the Gods text there, so I was like, why is he not talking? But if you go in from that angle, the island doesn't load right away because of the quadrant you're coming from. So you, by the time it loads, you're on it, so you're just like perfectly fine to just save warp right away, which is very nice. It's the same thing at Outset too. If you come from like the back end, it won't load as fast. Ice Ring has the same thing too, but that one's like a bit more annoying to get from where you swim from. So I don't need to go for that one. It's a bit too tight on that little angle. A bit too far on that little angle. I didn't know I could do that one. And luckily the wind is set there, so we can still use it properly without ever getting the song. So that song is
East
gorgeous.
wind is so powerful in this game, and that's the default wind direction. The default wind direction is so good for everything in this run.
It does everything we could ever want. And there we just item slide clips through this. It can be kind of finicky because how you do it, you just fall through the map and just not get here. But it's pretty simple once you realize like what angle you're going for. Yeah, we light arrow one and we killed the other because light arrow's death animation is not fast. So you sword the other one on top of light arrows being slow to shoot twice. You just light arrow the first one and then stab the second one. And now we got the Super Bracciali, according to the game. How do you pronounce that in Italian? I'm sorry, Italians watching. I can't pronounce anything.
Well, for you English speakers, it's the power bracelets. Just FYI.
And here we're gonna do. This island does not have anywhere to items or super swim off it. So we're gonna do a thing called an island hop. We're gonna charge a bunch of speed here. I thought I was gonna fall for a second there. At this corner here, and this corner it clips at the same speed every time, or not the same speed, or similar speed, like enough to save warp here.
Yeah, basically, a clip is so useful for island hopping because you have to travel. Basically, Link is swimming for a single frame, and then he loses his speed. So that clip basically makes him. It happens at the same speed every time, so you can just reach this island all the way across the ocean.
I remember here to swim through Tower of the Gods. I usually do it earlier. That's no speed.
So as I mentioned, we have to watch the Tetra to Zelda cutscene so Medley spawns. Medley's actually not here right now. The trigger for Medley spawning is you coming out from Hyrule to Tower of the Gods and triggering Tower of the Gods.
It worked there.
And that, you have to actually load the quadrant for it to happen. So that's why you saw swimming by the island so that loads, so that otherwise Medley wouldn't spawn.
Yeah, another thing nice with the map too, the map, it's not, the islands aren't marked with dungeons until you hit that trigger. Unfortunately, missing that post storage there. We could try it again. This one's not sensitive to a cutscene. You activate it after, so it's less bad. I'm gonna go back here for this. There's a setup for this one, but it's like not that. It's pretty slow, so I just prefer to keep trying this. That one should work. There you go. Just cool a few times here. I'm gonna play my song.
Gotta play a song blind. Can you handle that?
I mean, can you? You failed the first song in an 80% run.
We don't talk about that.
And here we have to exit at a particular time when we get the song. Because this text box actually gives us the item, it's not the cutscene. So we just leave here. So we skip the cutscene, and if you do it on that text box, that clears it. You crash your game, with soft lock at the very least. So you gotta do it like as it comes up.
Yeah, if you switch controllers during the loading zone, during the loading trigger, it like soft locks, and that's very bad. We don't want to do that.
Good speed. Some clear vice ring. It's windfall, so we're good here.
So you don't actually need to get the arm boots for this. You
So
can
close.
just item slide past the wind here and jump attack.
You can do it out of the super swim too, but I barely missed the saves there. Optimally use the pro controller for both swims, but I've had so much more game time with the gamepad, so I just kind of, you lose like a couple seconds for doing it, so I just stay consistent. Hit that one first try at least. And same deal for this one, just play another song. So even if you have donations or anything to read, go ahead. Oh, there's no host, my bad. I look to my right, there's nobody there. I think to play another song. Menu down 4 times. Yeah, luckily if you don't, timing this is not too bad. You just kind of do it with the music cue. It's pretty simple. But if you don't want to risk it, you can just progress the cutscene to it after the blackout of the screen. You just do it then. It does the same thing.
That's whenever you hear do-do-do-do-do-do, that's when you can. That's when you technically learn the song and you can save and quit.
I almost entered the water way too early there, but I didn't have speed anyway. So I'm swim back there. Of course,
This
I did-
swim pretty annoying. You have to wait for the water,
Yeah, this part of the island's annoying to swim off of too. That should be
and it's just a
this.
very steep
I'm gonna go
slope,
back out.
and it's a very small area you can charge against.
Go wait for the water here. I thought that was good enough. It didn't go up fast as I thought it was going to. That's my bad. Just gonna wait again. That should work now. There we go. Let's go straight to Dragon Roost again. Gotta kill a little bit of speed. This one's not as easy to lose your speed on, but it still can.
Luckily, even if you do, you can just save and quit to the island. Dragon Roost is the only island in the entire ocean that if you're out to sea and you save and quit, you spawn on the island. All the others, you spawn in the boat.
I'm surprised it still worked.
I'm gonna do another cutscene skip here, so you're supposed to watch a
this one-
cutscene of teaching the song to Medley, but you can do a bunch of blind movement, reach there with pause storage, and then save and quit during that cutscene,
Yeah,
not watch
this
it.
one's pretty difficult, so I'm gonna have a bit of silence here, so I'm gonna hit this first try. Because we gotta cross a gap, we gotta break some pots. Okay, hit that first try at least. We got it.
Very nice.
I have once here accidentally hit B after doing it, and it was like one of the saddest moments in my career of speedrunning this game. This used to be a long cutscene to take a bathroom break in, because there's no text when Medley's playing your instrument for the spirit. But it's too slow to watch it, so. Yeah, in this room there's a gap there. We have to cross the grapple hook. You probably heard the ding sound from me aiming. So we do have a very particular movement setup. To get across. Go wait for this for a second so I time this right. Alright, we're good. You do a particular movement setup to get across. You also try me break pots during that. So I am, for at least the first like couple movements, I'm clogging my controller to hold the D-pad direction and make the B button not lower the menu. Then I refill my magic there because it's too a big magic, so it just refills fully no matter what, which is very nice. It's very fast to grab too. Then we do our movement across the gap. And from there you kind of just hold upright, or up left rather, until you hit the kind of ledge that you hold. You roll once and then hold forward, and you get kill some speed here. Yeah, there is a way to do the same thing as Fire Mountain on this island too, but I'm not good at it with the angle, so I keep it that it's safe. But we had to get something to do. I targeted him, so I didn't get my speed kill. If you target and hold back like that, it kills all your speed. But I didn't get a back angle because I targeted him, or the ship there. And now we get this text. I just started doing the Fire Mountain movement because I didn't realize it was there, honestly. So I'm still used to seeing that text then. Yeah, here's the one place where the east wind is not powerful, because we can't use it to skip this platforming here. It's the wrong direction.
Man, I really hope you can make it in time before the island thaws or
I don't
refreezes.
have very much time for that, you know.
5 minutes? Oh man.
Also, there's a chance that this bomb. Okay, we got lucky. That bomb can snipe you out of the air. It's happened to me several times. I'm gonna go for this once. Kind of an awkward item slide here. I should get my movement speed. We didn't get full speed, but we got far, so it's.
Oh, good backup though. Very good backup.
Got those fighting game player reactions.
Gamer.
And now you just jump in. Here, you don't actually need a glitch to skip this puzzle. If you roll at the wind on the side there at an angle, you just get past. But item swing's obviously faster, so we do that here. I go a little bit past because the ice physics. There's like little ice physics on this, and it's very annoying if you don't hit the chest. Here we could potentially lose time. This island top is less consistent than the other one. It's the same thing of like you have ranges you clip, or like angles you clip at, speed-wise, or like distance-wise. But unlike Dragon Roost, you can't say warp the entire quadrant. In many Super Sim categories, you can back it up with doing that, just a little bit. But we can't do that in this category, because that method of gaining speed is just banned outright, so... Gotta line this up here. Do this angle set up on my gamepad here with the menu. That's weird. I'm gonna line up again. Sometimes you can kind of clip in place and it's awkward, but... Alright, that should be good.
We make this?
I think we can swim into it. If not, you just spawn back at Ice Ring and do it again, which kind of sucks.
I think we're making it. The annoying thing about this clip in this category specifically, this is probably one of the dumbest tricks in this run, because of the fact that you can't manual swim. You have to swim there. Manual swim, you can make it from pretty much anywhere, but here you have only the 30-second swimming range. Luckily, you're making it, but
yeah,
that's random where you clip. So sometimes you're too far away to swim, and you have to save and quit and spawn all the way back at Ice Ring, and it's really annoying. You have to do the entire thing again and lose about a minute. So luckily, getting it first try.
Yeah, it's annoying too, because you have to put gyro back on if you want to aim with it. I usually do, because I like that for the item slide, to jump across the gap. And then you have to thaw the chest again, because you didn't open it. Actually, I'm pretty sure it freezes over again if you do open it anyway.
Yeah, it's
the whole thing.
It should stay thawed.
Now, this dungeon normally is probably the hardest segment in the run, which you could skip medley, but it is a bunch of extra Favorite inputs and pretty angles for like and like weird setups. At least for the last one's really weird. But it only stays like 50 seconds to a minute depending how fast you do it compared to regular medley, so I usually opt against it just for consistency's sake.
I should mention that the early Earth Temple, so the GameCube version of this speedrun enters Earth Temple without ever talking to Medley or getting a Tetra Zelda cutscene or anything by doing a clip, a very, very precise bomb clip to get out of bounds, and then leaf to the area next here, but then you don't have Medley. The way to get past the first room that only we can do in the GameCube version requires freezing a Moblin and then using a Tingle Balloon to get across, but and then putting the Moblin on one switch and then Link on the other switch, because we don't have Medley. But because there's no Tingle Tuner in this game, this is the only room that you cannot complete Medley lists. Thus, we have to get Medley.
I gotta go back. I bonked. Well, no, she didn't call yet. Okay, I can skip the card to this. I'm gonna turn my gyro back on while I'm at the I have a chance. I'm just gonna jump across here at this point.
Just pick her up and fly across.
But yeah, calling them is pretty lenient with like them following you with you in this game. In SD, it's pretty bad, but in this game, it's pretty. You have a good amount of leniency. I've never had that.
Yeah, in this game, you can call a character and then very quickly open the door, and if the character's still following you, the character just teleports through the door, even if the character was like nowhere near you. With item sliding, that's very powerful to get them through doors and get them across gaps they're not supposed to get across.
Yeah, my up angle wasn't good enough for the first one, so I didn't get a jump, so that's unfortunate. But as people in the crowd can see, I'm aiming with gyro, so my arms are like all the way over here. I'm doing that part. So hitting up can sometimes be weird. Yeah, I get you across with having to drag Medley over there. Here's one of 2 times we have to use Command Melody, or one of 3 times rather. We have to use it on lighting this time. Okay, might work something early. Sometimes he can swing at you while you're picking up Medley, while close enough to hit you. It's pretty annoying, but. Here we're just gonna go down the shoes and go here. Pretty simple.
Luckily, you can just light arrow these chews, and then you can get a nice double hit there. And so normally,
I did so well for so
no,
long
you
without
lost your brownie points.
That happens to me so much.
I thought we were gonna make it the whole run without picking up a single spoil. Well, I guess you don't get the brownie points.
Yeah, that was the last chance to get it pretty much. Because I don't need to refill bombs on Dark Nuts because I grabbed extra earlier. From a RNG drop.
So here we already have the mirror shield because of the fact that we watched the puppet and cutscene that gave us the mirror shield early, and so now just kind of skip half of the dungeon.
Say para, it does not. No, it doesn't.
And you're supposed to use both lights, but if you put Medley on the very edge of the light, Link can actually, so you're not supposed to be able to pull your shield if you're close to Medley. You just call her, but if you go to the very edge, you can just keep Medley on the same.
If you do this fast enough here, she will still come with you here. There we go. As long as
very useful there. Getting that skips bringing her through the door.
As long as you do it before she hits the staircase and says wait, it still works. That's why I kind of move forward a bit to like drag her a bit further, so I have a bit more leniency with my charge.
Luckily, Medley has teleportation powers.
And Makar does too, thankfully.
Yes.
He's very talented. He's commentating too. He's doing so much. But yeah, the main draw of skipping Medley for this is while clips can be annoying to set up and like the setups take time, you skip these cutscenes every time. On top of a couple of command Medley usage, which is just nice. And you get to item slide boards, so you don't have to hold her. There you go. Break the statue here. I can stun that one, because they will scream at me. Also, one of the probably the scariest redead design in Zelda, which freaked me out as a kid. So fly straight across here. Here's one of the like the 2 things we need to hit with the Skull Hammer. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna line up my camera a little bit here. Jump backwards. And use the back of the mirror shield there to break that statue. So not use command mode to like move that statue right over there. The bombs here, push her to the grate here. Because I don't want to get the boss to the small key and go to the other room. I'm just gonna use this bomb here, push myself into the wall. Unfortunately, missing the frame there. I have like a frame earlier too.
I think this is our second roll clip, I believe, in the run.
Yeah, we did password skip. There we go. Second try stop it.
There you go. So that's a frame perfect roll to get out of bounds.
And we go into this gate here and grab Medley from the other side. Another one coming up here. This boss key skip is 2 straightforward inputs. Not at the same time like password skip was, luckily. But it's a very flashy setup. Can't just spin there like camera keeps shaking. That was unfortunate. I couldn't really avoid that damage. Luckily, she doesn't have health. She just kind of is immortal. So shouts to that.
Maybe she should sleep Hyrule.
She'd do a better job at it. She can fly too. Link can't go up. That's like the one thing we can't do without zombie hovering, which is limited in this game. We can't go up. That's like the one thing holding us back right now.
Yeah, find a glitch to gain height that doesn't require being dead. and you have completely and totally broken this game to pieces.
Yeah, now we can leave her in the room where I got her hit on the head. Cool. If you start your item or pull an item during item slide, while going down a slope, if you do it at the right speed, Link won't get stopped by the slope yet. So you can just do that to carry her on. Here we're gonna get her angle by frame perfectly pausing. And we're gonna roll clip into this wall here. Okay, it's a bit late there. Luckily, this one's fast to retry. This method's really fast. Nice. Second try's good.
Very nice. That is actually, if without that setup, that is very precise without that setup. Like that, you're not gonna just accidentally get that clip. Like that is actually a very, very precise trick, but because of the way we do that setup, it's actually fairly easy. It's very OOT-esque, where you just kind of turn and then roll, and then you're in the right position.
And if you don't want to learn the pause timing too, you can home buffer and bottle swipe to the right, and it does the same angle pretty much. I don't know what I had the foresight for it, but I forgot that I did. And here light arrows phase them into existence at movement, so you don't have to use the lights at all when there aren't how fast they move. With my bombs put on 5 of them there. Yeah, bombs cover the space. Unless you kill them all in the same frame, you can't one-cycle this thing to be faster. So you kind of just use bombs to cover space and just go like that.
It's kind of funny that light arrows stuns this boss. Like, you're never supposed to have light arrows while fighting this boss.
Nice bomb save there, missing a spin. Yeah, as mentioned earlier, light arrows also heal Gum, but they don't interact with any other boss to my knowledge, which is interesting.
It's just very bizarre that it interacts with these two bosses. I don't really understand it, but it works. It's very good for the speedrun.
With this boss, my theory is that they're supposed to be done items in this dungeon. Which makes sense, because they did it in good backup shot there. They did it at MM for the last dungeon, before the moon. So it would make sense with the light mechanics, but that's just my assumption. No, there's no Digino gaming that tells me that, so I don't know. Yeah, pretty good fight. Not much like time after the bomb exploded for the ones to run around. Besides the couple cutscenes get that flubbed, this is pretty good late game so far, so I can't complain.
You should definitely get that heart. Worry about dying. Let's do it.
I don't wanna. I'm not gonna lie.
Dang it! I tried.
Okay, now this cutscene here is very important. As you'll notice, my sword gets downgraded. And Makar's save flag to spawn is dependent on the sword being at the second stage and not the last one. And if you save warp, that flag gets reset so to avoid soft locks for beating the game, which inherently soft locks the game because we can't get Makar anymore.
Yes. So if from this point until beating Wind Temple, until being done with Makar and Wind Temple, we cannot save and quit. So basically, you may think as a casual, oh, I could totally go to Wind Temple before Earth Temple. Well, actually, you can't. And there's a really good reason for it. You could just simply hookshot the torch in the Earth Temple mini-boss if you have the hookshot first. So I guess at first, maybe Nintendo was like, oh, we'll make it so you can go to either dungeon in either order. That's a cool design. And then they just botched it. They just decided, all right, no, you have to go to Earth Temple first. Because Makar won't spawn unless you have watched this cutscene. So you can't actually go to Wind Temple first, unfortunately. I think that would have been a cool game design, but it doesn't exist. I think a lot of casuals kind of don't really realize that.
I always thought growing up that I could, and I tried very hard. I could never figure it out.
Same here, yeah. I was like, where's Makar?
Because Wind Temple's my favorite dungeon.
So it's because of this cutscene. You have to watch it for Makar to spawn.
Wind Temple was my favorite dungeon as a casual and in the speedrun, so I replayed the game to do it, and then just reset the game to do it again, pretty much.
Yeah. It's a big troll by Nintendo because both areas are marked on your map, and then the boat's like, all right, go wherever you want, and it turns out only one of the places is correct.
Just like earlier when he told us to pull the Master Sword, the boat just loves his little tricks.
Yeah, Boat wants us to crash the game. Thanks, Boat. I would have crashed the game if it weren't for you.
He's a silly little guy.
So yeah, this super swim right here, this is it's not the easiest super swim, and this one and the ones coming up, if you fail it at all, you have to just drown. You can't save and quit because to go back to the island.
Which sucks because the wind is wrong for Forest Haven. So you kind of go very slow to get back to the island. I'm gonna I can salvage this one. Never mind. Don't mind me. I believed in myself. I got very like with the water there. It kills Lucy a little bit. That was a bad decision.
Oh, nice raft. You hit the boating course raft.
It was
you
like
can't
I can't.
Can't save. Can't save. Can't save. Can't save.
True.
Don't do that.
Thank you, Albert.
All right. We almost couldn't finish the run.
So
Just
I
drown.
technically
There
can't
we
save.
go.
I just can't quit. So.
So yeah, the reason that you cannot save and quit there, if you save and quit, that re-upgrades the Master Sword, and Makar cannot spawn unless the Master Sword is in the specific state. If you save and quit the game, restart the game again, the Master Sword is no longer, it re-upgrades. Because of the fact that we had it already upgraded, the game will just recognize, oh, you downgraded the Master Sword, let's re-upgrade it. And that will make Makar go bye-bye, and you cannot beat Wind Temple. You literally cannot get through the dungeon of Wind Temple without Makar. It is actually impossible.
Yeah, I just killed Speed at like the perfectly wrong spot there. I thought I was like more in like a corner of the quadrant, so there wasn't gonna be anything there. But...
The raft just popped up out of nowhere. Why do they put these rafts out of nowhere?
Getting this. We salvaged that one at least, so. Yeah, we're gonna go around this side. There we go. Yeah, that sword's usually not hard. It's just kind of like the threat of you can't save warp makes it way harder mentally. Okay, finally missed a jump slash there. It saves time to go for it. It's cool, so I like doing it.
I'm glad that you didn't save and quit.
You definitely saved me, so thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't know if you were hearing, if you heard me.
I did, but it took me a second to process. I'm like, is it gonna like keep me get this raft? Like, what's the problem here? Like, oh wait, we just talked about it. Okay, here, Makar.
We just talked about this. All right. We've got Makar.
It's like the usual sim I mess up is the second one here because Beetle's way harder.
No, those rafts are notorious. I've seen those rafts kill my swims. They've killed Josh's swims. I've seen it before. It's those pesky boating course rafts.
Yeah, he gets to play a song on his viola again. I love the song. We're gonna hear this again later. Because the reason we can't save warp is because if you have the sword, he goes to the boss room and plays his song forever. So we can't touch him there. But he will reappear later to say hello.
Is it weird that I just stared at your plushie during this entire cutscene?
He's doing it. That's why you get the microphone.
Yeah, your plushie is coming in clutch.
I could have just put him in the game if I save warped.
You could have, yeah. Just insert plushie into video game. Just use him as an amiibo. Scan him in. Like, when's a Makar amiibo? Come on.
They should make
What? We should just spawn like 15 Makars by using 15 amiibos.
HD on the Switch coming soon. We'll get it then. Yeah, here we get to do this fun little swim again. I had to load it because the boat was too close to let the boat to let Beetle's boat move. It's actually getting a weird angle there. Like it's if he moves too far, I have to reload it again. I'm getting weird eyesight here.
He's a little far away.
I'm stuck. Help! Thank you. I might have to reset my dead zones.
Yeah, the boat's like really far away from the island. I don't know, maybe it might want to retry. Oh, there we go.
Speeds and be careful. There we go. I don't know. I paused the last time. I already knew I was going. Right. Yeah, I knew it worked. I was getting like sent to the left each time, so I just had to fix my angle. Yeah, we didn't.
All right, last dungeon.
We stayed on the island, so that's a better way to lose this one. So it's gotten way hotter up here. Yeah, for those who don't know, the AC on the venue, unfortunately, picked a bad weekend to stop working. So the Midwest University is doing the best they can to make it comfy. They've done a pretty good job, but it's pretty hard with what they got, so.
It's faster to throw Makar there before rolling because Makar moves very, very slowly. So it's faster to just pick him up and throw him.
He's got little
or else
legs,
you'll be waiting forever. He just kind of waddles.
He's trying his best.
He is trying, yeah. But luckily he has teleportation abilities that we're going to see.
Makar is so cool. We should bring him back for every Zelda game. We should make him the main character. Tingle got a game, he can have one. Tingle got 2, actually.
Makar the video game, like plant trees %.
I'd play it. Yeah, he's gonna waddle after us, but luckily he just finishes it anyway. I'm gonna get magic here, so you know, we're gonna do something a second time. Yeah, because I was gonna cross here. Assuming I'm fast enough, he'll come with us. There he is. The lovely little jingle sound accompanies him. It's not a process. Oh, I barely angled it wrong. Couldn't wait for this
I think
to
you
go
can just
twice.
call him. You can just call him from here.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just wanted to get the angle right. I should pick him up for this. He takes forever to get up these stairs. They're too
There's a
tall.
lot of hop up all the stairs individually.
They're too tall. He just hops up and stops moving.
He's so slow. Or even if you could clip out of bounds, which you actually can in almost any room, you can clip out of bounds. You can't get past these doors. Like the next area doesn't load unless you have physically opened the door. So these doors that have bars on them, they literally are impossible to get past. They are the most sturdy obstacle that exists in this entire speedrun.
The other nice thing with
It's
not
not like MM or OT where the next area is always loaded.
The other nice thing with not save warping too is that the command melody cutscene only plays the first time on your save, if you have to save and quit. So every time you boot up the game, it'll play again. But we do it all in one sitting, so it's yeah. Makar, unfortunately,
Well, bye, Makar.
he's gonna need saving.
So now we can save and quit at any point. It doesn't matter. Because we're done with Makar. Use him for 2 rooms. Thanks, Makar.
Nice. And there we broke.
Who's that?
We opened a warp pot there, which is very cool. Why'd you do that?
Oh, nice. Very interesting things there.
I've never had the P-hat go that close.
This P-hat, he just likes you too much.
It's a nice shot on that one. We're gonna roll through again here. This door is one of the few that we can activate behind the stone without any issues. It's a nice little patch of ground behind it. Pull a bomb here to skip the turning around animation again.
This fight is really
I'm
annoying
gonna grab some
without
bombs,
the
I'm kinda-
light arrows.
He landed right on me. I couldn't.
No,
about
the
that one.
brownie points!
I just wanted extra bombs. I don't think I need them for the boss fight, but I wanted extra just in case I messed it up.
Yeah, it's really hard to finish this run or glitchless without ever picking up a single spoil. It's just like, that is a challenge in its own.
I've actually had that one for a long time, ever since I actually spinned it once. But that one just lands directly on me, so that was just the worst case scenario. Yeah, Makar's dead now, unfortunately. Rest in peace.
Rip.
He's
No,
no
he's not dead. We'll see him again.
He passed in his prison cell in the middle of the room because we didn't check on him.
So now that we saved and quit, the Master Sword is re-upgraded, and now Makar just disappears, because basically the flag for this dungeon being in the completed state and Makar disappearing is the Master Sword being fully upgraded, which is supposed to happen after you beat the dungeon.
Yeah, I actually target way too early there, that's unfortunate. What's my angle there? There we go. I got a magic from this grass here. Got a big one, luckily. Got the thing, very cool. You can break that and land it at the same time. If you get the jump slash perfectly. Move slightly in the middle of this and set up again, just to jump down there before the cutscene plays. Got a little bit of time there. I have never done that before. How did I even do that? I'm gonna save because I don't have to open the pot again. I guess I have 5-finger target. But yeah, I can't get back up. I have to clip into that door to get hook shot, and I don't have I need to save the key. I'm gonna get. That's meant for that door for later to skip another key. So, okay, not too bad of a time loss. Just kind of go back through this. get in the pot again. Yeah, mainly just save there, even if it's like slower to save it to quit that way, just to get down here.
I'm using the warp pot that we opened earlier with the fire arrow shot.
There we go. I've never like messed up that part of this before, so that's unfortunate, but let's roll hoop again here. And if you want to start the run, I've been leafing every time I'm above a loading zone. That just activates immediately for whatever reason. Like, as long as the loading zone goes infinitely up pretty much, and you use activate at any time, like just leafing. Otherwise, you can't land in there too, if you don't have magic, but... Yeah, this boss fight is pretty annoying casually, because it keeps spawning stuff if you don't kill him fast enough. And this Dark Knight usually makes it pretty hard to kill him fast enough. I meant to spin there. That's whatever. I had to wait for this guy to spawn anyway, so it's not really much slower. This guy dropped in orbs, so I grabbed the magic. Just to skip grabbing grass later, so... Almost got back in the chest too if I had like another second there. Yeah, here we get Milk Shot. This is a very important item. It lets us get on top again in this tower, which is very important for the end of the game. Otherwise, we can't get to the platform that his boss room is in, which is very, very not good. You can technically with a zombie hover with a very specific particular setup, but why do that when we're doing a dungeon anyway? Got barely too far left on that setup there. Here we're gonna use this bomb to launch ourselves up here at this little corner here, and use the iframes to jump over the spikes. It's a very fast route. And now from here, we got that key. We're gonna go straight to the basement. We skip the main usage for that key. Here we're gonna aim to the top right of this target, kind of very fast. It's like just enough in a weird angle for Link to shoot that it just pops him into bounds. It's really easy. Climb all the way up here. Just activate the switch. Yeah, there you have a lot of leeway on timing. Okay, one more flash zone to me. Which is pretty annoying. Okay, this guy has to go. I couldn't do the target set up there from my angle, so I messed up my up. There we go. Here you can skip this. You can skip this stone here that uses Makar Blitzistic too. I'm mistiming every single target. I'm not sure why I'm doing that. Just get back over here. You can skip over this. This thing is actually not attached to the wall. It's like a small gap enough you can sidle through it. I'm gonna grab this because I didn't need the bear magic there. I usually do, but this boss fight, Mulgara works weird compared to other bosses. They are hit-based rather than damage, which we can exploit with our bombs we equipped here. Makar's chilling. He's alive. He survived. I hope he doesn't get eaten by anything.
So because we have the fully charged Master Sword, which we got from sequence breaking, the dungeon thinks it's in its complete state. So every time you come here, if you have the fully charged Master Sword, which is you're supposed to get that from the cutscene that we watch after beating the boss. Since it's already upgraded, the game thinks we've already beaten Mulgara, but Mulgara is still alive. So Makar's music takes priority over the Mulgara sword. Sometimes the music's gonna start playing, and Makar's gonna be like, nah, bro. I'm more important.
Even from the stomach of Mulgara. But yeah, this fight, we are going. It takes 4 hits to phase shift Mulgara. And we're going to do a trick to hookshot it on the same time it gets hit by a bomb, or like registers the damage from it. It's frame perfect. Pretty difficult to see. We need to hit it 2 times. I hookshot that way too early. Too far away enough for not hit by the bomb, but it still gets hit when we. Got one. Luckily, if you go early, it resets it, so you can keep going after that. I had a weird camera there, so I wasn't sure how to like pivot that into it without getting hit by the bomb myself. Yeah, that one I got a weird thing. So at certain spacings you can't do that thing that puts him further back, back and forth. And I got that spacing. I almost got it. I hit the first part of it, which I think is that
each time you get the phase reset, you have to get 3 to 1 cycle. It's frame perfect. Oh,
yeah, there's another instance where you can't die, but I'm pretty riskless from it now, assuming I just hit this thing. There's an instance of that jump slash thing. But they always drop hearts pretty much too.
Yeah, look, got 2 out of 3, but basically the optimal way to do that fight is all 3 phase resets, and every single one of them is frame perfect. So basically, you want to hookshot on the same frame that Mulgara goes back into the sand, and so basically Mulgara will go back into the sand on the same frame as being hookshotted, and that keeps Mulgara out. So basically, it resets its damage so that you can hit it a bunch more times. And phase resets each time.
The Makar song started right as this one started, like right before it, so it overlapped for a bit, and it took a while for it to overlap.
Yeah, you get majorly debated. Like, you think, oh yeah, the music's about to play, and Makar's like, oh no, sorry, I was just taking a break. Let me start my music again.
I could hear, I was laughing at it, playing over it, the other one, the whole time. Yeah, there's one temple, and luckily because of the state too, we skipped the end cutscene here that upgrades the sword because we already have it.
Yeah, because the sword is fully upgraded, that's the trigger for watching that cutscene, so the game thinks the cutscene's already been watched, so you can just go through. Nice roll!
That's another one
perfect
frame.
roll.
It saves like 2 seconds because Link has to walk less in this cutscene.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, you just mash for it, but... I mean, you can time it, but I mean...
Yeah, he walks pretty far. I always joke when I'm on PB pace that it runs dead if I miss that. Here. I kind of got into the water earlier than I wanted, but I think I still make this. But it's gonna be tight. I probably shouldn't have gone for this, I'm not gonna lie.
When you super swim, you want to hold very close to the neutral dead zone, and so the closer you hold, the slower you lose speed.
I'm barely not at the corner.
Maybe you can climb up here?
No, you can't.
No.
I don't think this is air pocket until... Yeah, there's like one more corner there that I get. This was not too bad to miss the power of East Wind.
Yes, East Wind, so powerful. There's a lot of parts of the run that literally would not work if our default wind was an East.
Oh, I thought I had assist there because I was bopping up and down. But I was just looking in the rod. This is the same speed, so I'm gonna go back. I got stabbed back to that, maybe turn around twice. I won't lie, it's like a good 90% of runs, so like whether in a marathon or like on good pace, I will choke this swim, despite it like being easier than other ones for later. Just because like when you know that, it becomes way harder inherently. Sit by this rock here. Nice and easy. Yeah, here I mentioned earlier we're gonna need that boat cutscene. Hit my ESS. There we go. Aim it to the right here. We gotta hit this door here. This is the cutscene for Forsaken Fortress 2. Luckily it doesn't have any flags set to it. It just kind of brings the boat in here.
And luckily the boat can just teleport through walls apparently, and you don't need to bomb the wall.
I mean, you do have the teleportation song. I think he's got it on his own when we're in the dungeon. Yeah. Otherwise, you can just enter the door up there, and it's not too much slower. If you somehow accidentally hit that cutscene earlier. But yeah, I'm gonna go for PG skip once, and if I don't get it, then oh well. I'll just do the fight. So
this is the biggest RNG part of the entire run. This boss coming up, you can skip. It saves about 2.5 minutes if you do it optimally. So, because it's a really long fight, and basically the trick is going to allow you to get to the top of the room. That warp pot, if you open it, you can take it all the way to the top. Now, by default, it's not open. So basically, the goal of this trick is to burn the warp pot lid. And so when you're out of bounds, so you have to get out of bounds in this room. There's actually an area you can stand on, and you can shoot a morph from below the floor. The arrow has an extended hitbox. So you can hit the morph and burn it, and then if it bounced far enough, it can burn the wart pot lid, allowing you to take the wart pot to the top. Doing a roll clip to get out of bounds. This requires this requires the hook shot. You can't get up top here without the hook shot. That's why we couldn't have done this earlier in the run, unfortunately, when we first visited Papageddon. You only see this version in categories with hookshot. It's actually faster than zombie hovering to the top, which you'll see in any percent. It's a really, really hard trick, but it's a lot easier in this category because you have the hookshot. So we can go for 2 shots on 2 different morphs. The third one you can't get an angle on. There's 3 morphs, but only 2 of them you can hit.
That one hit?
Yep, so you can hear the sound of it dying. That's the morph. That's the one that we hit. And then you gotta look at it for long enough for it to keep the lid spawned.
That one also hit.
I heard it. Alright, so now we just take the warp pot and hope it works.
And sometimes those keys can push each other through the wall. Okay, unfortunately it didn't work. I'm actually gonna reset the room. Just because I have an easier time one cycle or killing the first phase from the start and not there. I also didn't grab magic through this way.
So you're just gonna go ahead and fight Papageddon?
I like the fight a lot too, so I don't mind doing it.
Okay, so I guess we're just gonna go ahead and do the fight. So unfortunately, yeah, so that got bad RNG there. I mean, if you'd gotten good RNG and one of the morphs would have bounced far enough to burn the lid, you could have just taken the warp pot to the top, but it's a 38% chance of it working each time, and then unfortunately, since the morphs are gone, there's no way to void out in this room. If you find a way to void out in that room from the bottom, you will save a lot of runners' hearts. But unfortunately, you have to just reload.
Nice. Of course, he moved a bit more than I thought he was going to. That's barely up. Oh well. Keeping him barely off. Every time I mess up the media 3, I got the first 2 fine. Not a bad phase 1, but just missed a couple shots.
Each one of these phases requires 3 light arrow shots on the tail. The first one, you're supposed to have boomerang. We don't have boomerang at all, but even if you do have boomerang, you can just snipe the tail while it's moving, which is pretty hard to do. There are times where Papageddon goes for a punch, and it's easier because the tail is a lot slower moving.
And this is my favorite song of the game, personally. This song's very good. I'm sad you skipped it with PD skip.
I'm gonna try to go for a double shot here.
I don't know if I'm magic things, but I'll try it. Okay, I just typed the button wrong. I let go of it by accident, but hopefully this keeps giving me magic. Also, another big reason I wanted to save warp is because I lost health before, and this would like make them drop hearts instead of magic, which is really not good. Because you need to refill.
Yeah, if you have 2 hearts or less, the keys drop. Oh, very close on a double shot. Basically, trying to hit Papageddon as the spider's going back up. But yeah, you'll get heart drops if you have 2 hearts or less in this fight. So you always want to make sure you have over 2 hearts, at least 2 1/4.
The last run I did this, I had a perfect phase 3, where I hit the air double shot.
Yeah, there's another double shot you can do on this phase. So you can get like behind Papageddon, and then after stunning, so you can just ram a bomb into Papageddon's head, and that spawns Papageddon for a very long time. You can get behind and then try to do a double shot by shooting as the tail goes up.
That was barely off. It was right timing, strong angle.
I think a lot of casuals.
So
he's out of bounds.
He turned that way too. He wasn't facing that way.
What a troll. I think a lot of casuals don't know that you can use bombs, and this fight is so much easier with bombs. It's incredible. Oh, nice snipe.
As long as he's like in a way.
They want you to snipe. A lot of casuals try sniping the tail, which is incredibly hard to do. That was a really nice snipe at the end. But alternatively, you can literally just pull a bomb and let him run into you. If he hits the wall 3 times, they'll automatically go into you afterwards. And so you just wait for him to hit the wall 3 times, and then pull a bomb, and you just hits you with a bomb, and then you have so much time to hit the tail that it's free at that point. But a lot of casuals don't know that because it doesn't state it anywhere. And I don't know. I used a guide when I was first running this game. I used this I don't know if you remember the guide. It was this like book. It was amazing. It had this giant map of the entire game, and it never said to use bombs. I'm really sad it didn't say it.
Okay, save that.
Nice back up.
There you can, if you hold shield, that's why I paused before to move my hand. Pretty much up there too. And then mash A and B repeatedly. You could just keep climbing that rope. It's way faster. Yeah, I do like tower climb. It has cool strats. I didn't.
Just a clip through the floor there.
Can't miss that, unfortunately. There is a way to grab this legend here. Do I have enough for a fire arrow? I'm just gonna go break the thing myself, I think, because I don't know if I have enough fire arrow.
I think you do. You do.
I just want to not get up there to not be able to, because I can hook that in here too still, so. Yeah, those are the Morse we're also shooting at too. That's my gyro, I want that on. There we go. And one last pause towards it up here to skip this very long cutscene.
I think you didn't target the wall. I would reset that up.
It looked fine to me, because you see this angle here. I see the same.
Oh, nice. Okay, good, good. All right,
if Link is like halfway, like perfectly halfway, it works.
Didn't mean to trip you out.
I felt confident, but I'd rather be overcautious than not at this point.
All right. So that cutscene is very, very long. So you may think it's counterintuitive to go, to save warp and go all the way back to the start of the dungeon. Well, not the start, but here. But luckily, we open the warp pot and we can item slide, which is very fast movement to get all the way back there. And that saves a very large amount of time. I think it's probably like 3.5 minutes. It's 3.5, 4 minutes that saves right there. It's a ridiculously long cutscene.
It's like a 5-minute cutscene. It's a cool cutscene.
It's very cool. It's probably one of the most iconic cutscenes in the game. Unfortunately, we skip it. It's kind of like I kind of liked it being in a speedrun because of how cool the cutscene it is.
It's also a nice breather.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if we get.
All right. So last fight.
I can't spin. I keep mistiming the input. It sucks. Oh, it's so 1 second. We got very lucky there.
I have no idea how that works.
I think one of them double hit it. I don't know. Yeah, don't swing at the base. There we go. I barely misspaced that one.
Alright.
See Link pull up in the background there. In time, as soon as we stab Ganon's head here in a second. Alright, I'm reaching swag. And... time.
GG.
I'm happy with parts of that for obvious reasons, but it's a very difficult speedrun with all the strats you have to do throughout this. Zelda runs are like notorious for how trick heavy they are. Yeah, overall, pretty okay. I usually like to leave it here, because this is where the file name shows. I have file name redemption on my stream, so they get their channel points worth by the PB tweet being this. So I'm just gonna leave this here for the kind person from the Japanese restream who donated for Bomb Bomb. If you have any last minute donations or anything to say before the run ends.
I believe that's it for us tonight. Just a very good run. Congratulations. And I think happy birthday, I think, is in order.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I'll be honest, I forgot about that after I soft locked. I was not in a birthday mood anymore. But yeah, I'm going to try to run this game again. I want to get a sub 225. My PB is currently like a 229, I think. I really want to get that. That's what I wanted for a long time, ever since before pause storage, or right as pause storage got found. All my Twitch, Twitter, everything is RuneRavenFP. Everything's the same. I stream. I'm gonna do more consistently soon. Probably more evening streams. Japanese time. If any of the lovely viewers in the Japanese stream care to watch, it'll probably be a pretty early morning for you guys, so maybe accessible. If either of you two commentators want to plug yourselves too, feel free.
All right. So I haven't played this game in a really long time, so I may be the world record holder in every single category in this game. My name is Mr. Alberto, by the way. I actually have not run this game in quite a bit. I've actually been focusing on Twilight Princess, any percent, and I just got world record in that category just about a month ago. So that's pretty cool. And I am going to be running Twilight Princess at GDQ. So Twilight Princess finally got into GDQ after 4 years. So anyway, if you like Twilight Princess speedruns, you should definitely check out my channel. And I have a YouTube channel too.
And eventually OOT you're learning too.
Yes, OOT 100% no SRM is my plan. And I will be speedrunning Tears of the Kingdom. And I think I'll get record in that.
I believe in you. I definitely have seen firsthand on several occasions that you definitely have what it takes to just grind for it.
But Wind Waker HD is still my favorite. This game is hands down my favorite. It just it never gets old.
Yeah. And yeah, really quick fan, if you want to plug yourself too.
Sure. Phantom 5800 on everything. I don't play this game at all, but I do play Minish Cap, and we'll be doing probably the Oracle games as well sometime this year.
I'm gonna teach you to do SD Rando when I move up there, but yeah, he does do a tuned Zelda game, but it's the handheld one. And yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, resources for Windmaker. HQE has gotten pretty nice now. They got a lot of stuff to look through. Alberto personally has a lot of stuff on his channel on how to do various tricks. And if you don't have a Wii U, which I entirely understand, they're pretty annoying to get, and a lot of people got rid of theirs because there's not much reason to have one. The Windmaker SD community is wonderful too. Very welcoming. They have a lot of good resources. Very cool community. I highly recommend them too. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I heard Wii U's are dying. Like, they're literally just randomly dying, so I hope yours hasn't.
I've checked. Mine has a Samsung. I'm good. There's a 1 in 3 chance that your Wii U has a certain chip in it. One of the manufacturers did a bad job, so those just died. So it's very unfortunate for this game's life. Hopefully we get HD on Switch eventually, so it could be saved, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Just thank you very much.